Hypocrisy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Lawsplaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. Sorry, this is taking me a second to get started here. I ran into technical difficulty. It had nothing to do with my feelings being hurt. It had nothing to do with people being mean. It had everything to do with some tech issues. Okay? So, whatever stupid rumors you've heard aren't true. It's not true. So I won't hear any slander or lies or anything. You cannot shame me. You cannot hurt me. I'm living my truth. Okay, mine. Okay. So we're going to have to lay some ground rules for this stream because, frankly, guys, I've been doing a lot of reflecting. Given recent events, some things I'm not proud of. And I've decided that bullying on the internet has gone way too far. And it's up to me personally to stop it. And so I will not share any of your bullying memes. Not one. Unless there is money attached to it. A significant amount. I will not be the agency of bullying, especially of Rumble live streamers specifically. So if you are going to look, Rumble is a nice platform of nice people. And if you're going to go on Rumble or locals in particular and try and maybe fat shame a particular Rumble streamer, well, it's going to be a grift. Okay. I will not be here while you fat shame Rumble streamers. It's gone too far. I'm just saying. Some of y'all need Jesus. He wouldn't be so mean. Shout out to everybody who is here this morning to watch me get absolutely destroyed. That's right. To destroy myself was what I did today. So yeah. My feelings will eventually recover from it. But there you go. I hope you all have a wonderful Halloween. And if look, see, here you guys go. Chunketa, Fat Kita. I see it. I see every single comment. Every one. I see every one of them. And they all hurt. Okay. I told you locals. I told you, locals, I'm not going to do it. So, rekietalaw.locals.com seems to be the number one bullies on the internet. And if you want to see what they're doing, you can go to rekietalaw.locals.com. And you can go ahead and see what mean things they're doing. Because I'm definitely not going to share them on the show unless they pay me to do so. Because I am a cruel mistress. And we have very important stuff to do. We have very important stuff to do here on this show. Very serious topics. We have got, all right. DHS leaks. I know you guys have seen all of this. Did I get punched? No. I don't think so. I was sleeping. Dude, all day today, guys, my eyelids have just been dragged down. I wasn't even tired, but man. So let's see. Oh my God. All day today, I've been sleeping. Wait, DHS leaks. All right, I'm going to focus on this. DHS. We're going to talk about this in just a second, but the preview, if you're not aware, is that it's now leaking that the Department of Homeland Security has been heavily involved with having censorship meetings, for lack of any other thing you could actually call them, but censorship meetings with big tech. You know, that's fine. It's not a big deal. It's no big deal at all. So we're going to talk about that probably. We're also going to talk about the Babylon Bee has submitted 2 briefs. Well, one brief actually was submitted. The other brief was not submitted, but was written anyway. In the same case that the Onion filed their amicus briefs, which was in regards to a citizen of the United States impersonating via a parody Facebook account a police department, and the police department getting so ass mad over it that they arrested the person for a crime and ended up not being able to convict them of the crime because, well, there's that whole First Amendment thing. And now now that person is suing the police department for stepping on their First Amendment rights, because even an arrest for otherwise protected activity is unacceptable in the face of the First Amendment. So that's the case, and we'll read the Babylon Bee briefs, maybe review all of them. And I have listed something else, and I remembered what it was after creating this. The Atlantic wants a COVID amnesty. They want a COVID amnesty. In which case, they get to be forgiven for all of the fucking bullshit that they pulled. Not the Atlantic, but the people. For all the fucking bullshit they pulled during the pandemic. That's right. They want to be forgiven for forcing masks on people, for kicking children out of schools, for shutting down businesses, for all of that based on some fucking ginned up bullshit. That's what they want. And so we're gonna take a look at that as well. It's pretty good. I mean, we of course would see this coming. Everybody would see this coming in regards to once people realized that they were all fucking tricked and that everything they had to go through, all of that shit that they had to go through was based on bad information, willful misinformation, whatever it was, that their businesses were shut down, their ability to, buy their kids groceries was shut down due to a shitload of lies. So that's one other thing we're going to cover here. This is my last free article, is it? Well, fuck you, The Atlantic. You ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about fuck you? That's why. Okay, anyway. Speaking of coming, if you need to see me post coming, you can check out my Instagram page today, where I have uploaded a picture of me and Lady Rackets in our costumes for Halloween. We're festive for the season. I guess. Little weird costumes, but I'll plug my Instagram that way. So there's that. Okay. Now let's get back to this. Or your locals chat is where the real you is. Sure. As far as Twitter goes, just a quick comment. I have not received a reply to any of my Twitter requests, my appeals. That's what I'm talking about. Twitter appeals. So there's that. Is there anything else I need to do before I fully get started? Just want to make sure we're ready to go. Yes. Last thing. Exclusivity. There's an exclusivity offer on the table. People are asking me lots of questions about it. I will confirm what happens when everything is signed and finished and done. Okay? So that's what I'll say on it. I'm not going to answer what the offer is or who it is or whatever. Once everything's done and finished, then you'll get all the information you need. Read my Rumble rants. Okay, here we go. Kate of the Swiss says, "Hey, Nick, thanks for showing the world your Barbie pouch." Okay. So that's where it starts, huh? So it starts right there. Huh? Okay. Azzy 5030. Hey, Chunkita, you gonna acknowledge locals memes? I don't know if I'm gonna acknowledge locals memes. We'll have to see. How they behave. For $20 from Fat Imbalance, that's right, says, hey, came here from Drex's stream. Oh, did you? Did you run out of breath walking over from Drexel's stream to this one? Moving that mouse and clicking the button? Folks telling me someone needs a fat shame back. I don't know. Depends on if you can see your own reflection in your monitor, I guess. Farron. Let me know. Can totally do that. And then tell them my diet secrets. You fat fuck. Love you, buddy. Oh. Love you back. Love you back, Farron. That's right. Liberty Prime 85 says, hey, Nick, can you grab that book next to the cat picture and show us what it is? Which one? There's a whole fucking stack of books. There's a whole stack. You want me to? You want me to stand up and get a book? I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna. My legs are kind of tired after walking around outside. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Maybe on the local stream tonight or Twitch stream or whatever ends up happening after this. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll have a stomach cam goal. Okay? Maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe I'll turn this in to a DSP style griftathon. Just roll over in the chair. I can't. The casters on the chair broke today. All right? I don't know why. Manufacturer defect, probably. Earlyberg, my husband and I are having our first baby this February, and I'm scared. I don't have any family for support, and I feel really alone and like I'm already messing it up. Any advice for a new mom? Earlyberg. Yeah. We'll stop all this mean fat talk. SC Medic, I hate you. We'll stop all this mean fat talk for just a minute. And quickly talk about this. First of all, you're not alone. You have a husband. You just mentioned that. That's very important. That puts you ahead of a lot of people as far as the support structure goes. So you're not alone. But the second thing I'll say is, even if you are alone, even if it's just you and your husband, he's working and you're about to have to go full mom mode and really take on a lot of extra obligation and duty, you'll do it and you'll do great because you're already concerned that you're not doing a good enough job and you don't even have the job to do yet. You're going to be fine. You have the type of care and concern for your child already that most people who have success in their child rearing have. You're already there. So don't worry about it. Don't get anxious about it. My best advice is this, though. You're about to become stressed and tired in a way that you may not have ever experienced before. And you're going to have this little thing that you like a whole lot annoying the living shit out of you at some points. And you need to learn, this is my parenting advice for everybody, and trust me, it is critical. Learn to put the baby down in its crib and walk away. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, catch your breath, level your head, do all of that stuff. Because that's when parents make mistakes, when they're stressed, when they're tired, when they're angry. And that mistake, that act can manifest in harm to a child that should never happen. It's not necessarily bad parents who harm kids, but it is stressed out and tired parents who make bad decisions. So if the baby's crying in your arms for 10 minutes, it's driving you crazy, you don't know what to do, lay the baby down. Because if it's crying in your arm for 10 minutes, it'll be fine crying in the crib for 10 minutes. Be just fine. Walk away. And maybe that's what it takes for the baby to go to sleep. And then maybe you get to take a few minutes longer and breathe and sleep and, I don't know, do yoga or something. So anyway, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. You're already doing great. Bum Fuzzle Bro says, Nick, can you talk about that feeder article you wrote? I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I'm just going to move on from that one. Okay? Just going to move on. I don't have anything to say about it at all. I don't have anything to say. Tammy D. Oh. It's going to be like this. Okay. So this is what that's how it is, huh? From Hidden Light Art Studio, Rekieta Law showed his true nature on camera today and now should pay his chat to shame him, which of course we will do for free because we're great like that. Chunkita, Gutkita, Fatkita, Chubkita, and Drunkita. All I know is I get a Chubkita watching this.
Oh my God, I'm a fat guy!
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm keeping a list. I'm keeping a list. The karaoke stream just got 10 minutes longer. Tila of Grayskull says, just trying to drown out the fat shamers. Drunkita is the best. My husband and I love you. Well, I do. You're the best. Thank you, Tila. Thank you, Tila. Don't ever give in to the haters, especially your husband. Julian Delfiki says, Rekieta Law, I'll pay you. Oh, will you? That's nice. This is slander. This is a lie. It's not true. It's not true. Look at the it's not real. It's not real. I don't get 4 feet wide below the right here. From my tits down, I'm not that big. Look at it. Look at it. This is a lie. My biceps aren't that big. The lie is right there. Look, do these little piddly noodle arms don't look like that. See? Master detective. That's a lie. That's a lie. Prove it. I'm close. I'm close to proving it. Go get up and get something from the background. Cult of Personality says, so was DePape actually a MAGA goon? Or you think Paul was getting a little lonely and needed some dome? Also, fat shaming, I'm 340 pounds and I haven't seen my 6-incher in a year. Farron, can you help me find it? Oh, shit. Let's see. Wait, so that's Paul Pelosi's little ass goblin guy who hammered him and then hammered him. Is that what we're talking about? I don't know the name. I don't know the name of this weirdo, but yeah. Oh, that was definitely that was either that friend who stays over a little too long and then leaves sticky, or it was a hired friend who still leaves sticky. It's one of those. I have no doubt in my mind. But anyway, fat shaming, you're 340 pounds. Haven't seen my 6-incher in a year. Farron, can you help find it? Cult of Personality, I don't know what greater shame there is than not even being able to see and remember what your own penis looks like. Other than the fact that when it's been that long, I'm betting no one else has seen or remembers what it looks like either. You need to get your stomach out of the way of your manhood. Because right now, at the rate you're going, the folds and the gunt seeping over that belt line are going to absorb your penis. And at first, you're probably going to like it. You'll be like, ooh, this is warm. This is cozy. No. Nope. Because then it's going to necrotize. And they're going to have to be slicing away like with a fucking wood planer, just layer after layer of fat tissue just to find the remnants of your withered penis. You need a shaming? You need someone to motivate you? How could I? What could I even do that you haven't already done to yourself? It's horrible, man. Legitimately. Get help. Get help from a skinnier person than me. Jay Wolfenstein, Nick, I was going to carve your face as a jack-o'-lantern, but I couldn't find a pumpkin big enough for your nose. See, there you go. That was a nice one. That was good. Fair and balanced. Nick, do you have to put 8 chili dogs on a stick to get you on the treadmill like what you told me? No. I don't, Farron. I don't need that. Prove you aren't fat, get on the stripper pole. If I had one, I'd already be streaming it. Let's see. So it works, says Farron. Help me lose the 60 pounds you found. Where can my dead eggs send their Christmas list this year? Oh my God. Yeah, actually, I don't know if you guys do treadmills the same way I do. I can't walk on them. So I just lay down and put the giant tire around my stomach right on the treadmill and turn it on slow, and it just rolls me like a fucking rotisserie. I figure that's the same as working out, pretty much. Next, we've got Julian Delfici. Oh, wait, no, I did that one. No Guard says, a toast to my grandmother. Died this morning at the age of 105. 12 grandchildren. 9 great-grandchildren so far. And also, never had a gut as big as Rekieta, leaning for a cat painting. Despacito. I guess we'll get a toast ready. Here we go. Where the hell was that? Oh, to No Guard's grandmother. A life not lost. A life very much found. Found at the end of the road, waiting with a smile at the ripe age of 105 years old. Imagine the stories, the experiences, the wonder, and the lives touched and molded by this iron woman. To live through, to live through everything we think of, almost the entire 20th century, the formative years of the American powerhouse, when the United States became the global force, happening during this woman's lifetime, and to watch where it went at the end. And to know that no matter how the country ends up going, that she left a legacy of children and grandchildren, that she chose how to mold the future, that she taught how to touch lives the way she did. Cheers to her and everything she represents. May we all leave a legacy worthy of a toast someday. Jason 7777, Nick, I'm not fat. I just have relationship with the buffet. I got news for you. It means you're fat. Okay, here we go. Stream snipe Drex. He's live right now? No. No. Drex has his show, and people should definitely check it out. Spat64 says, mine's from a C-section. What's your excuse? We know we love you, dude. Now bring on Farron to fat shame you. Wait, what? What? You think I'm going to do that? What is this? What is this? Did you? Is this Farron calling me fat? So, Ethan Klein? Spat64 also says, ate the kids' Halloween candy. that one's kind of, that one looks, oh God. You know, the other day I was talking about nightmares and how I actually kind of like them. I don't have them very often, but they're interesting to me. Yeah, I have one now. Okay? I have one now. Hackett 56 Rackets been living rent-free in your YouTube streams over the last 3 to 4 years, and the rent is due. First time grifting and happy to be part of the Locals 5,000. Yeah, buddy. That's right. rekietalaw.locals.com. I have not been roasted this hard. I have not been roasted this hard in a long fucking time. And the last time those two guys have been paid to never speak about it. So, fuck me. Whew. Okay. All right. Okay, I think we've got to get into this stuff. We got to get into this stuff. No more of this tomfoolery. You guys can't keep distracting me like this. What I do need you to do, though, ladies and gentlemen, is pound that plussy. Pound that plussy. You know you want it. You know you want it. Pound that plussy over on Rumble. Hit that plus button. Let's get this stream kicked up to the stratosphere and make sure. Make sure we get it. Oh, I did get. I got one thing. I got some mail here to open on stream. I haven't been opening mail on stream lately, but let's do this real quick. I think this is cool. I don't know what it is, but I have a feeling that it's cool because I got an email about it. So let's see. Maybe it's not cool. Farron says, if there's one thing you've taught me as an internet mentor, lean into the joke, get that grift. You're a great sport, Nick, which is why we love you, overweight or not. I'm sorry I couldn't hear you over chewing my cud that I saved up from this morning. Let's see. This is not fan mail of the type that I'm used to opening. Okay. All right. What the fuck is this? There's a bunch of stuff in here. 1 second. Pipe bomb? I bet it's a pipe bomb. Why is it just diet pills? It's just boxes and boxes of diet pills. Although in theme, it is too big of a shirt, but it's let's see. A couple shirts here. Wait a minute, what is this? Putting maps where they belong. Rekieta cartography service since 2022. Oh, that's great. That's great. You know how wide this is. My shoulders could never fill this. All right, so we've got this is from RRS Speedloaders. RRSspeedloaders.com is the website. But let's they've got some stickers in here. It's Red Rock Signworks. Okay, cool. So that's the RRS. Here we go. And we got a pen. That's nice. Most importantly, it looks like a giant dildo mold. Here we go. We got a Rekieta Law speed loader, I think. Or it's just like you pour maybe plastic or rubber into it and make a bad dragon for yourself. But very fucking cool, man. Very cool. I guess you shove the bullets in that way. That's fucking awesome. Thank you to RRS Speedloaders. That's fucking really cool. Thank you. Loading 30-round magazines does get annoying. Seek the light, Nick. I started a lottery scratch-off channel called Buy You Scratchers on YouTube and Rumble. Could you tell the chat about it? He started a lottery scratch-off channel. Wait, so you go buy lottery tickets and scratch them off on like YouTube and Rumble, I guess? I mean, neat. I guess there's like a whole bunch of different scratch offs, and I figure, so I guess you got to talk about them or something. That's kind of, I don't know what it's like. I guess check them out. Buy You Scratchers if you like scratch off tickets. You can go see that. Tila of Grayskull says, Rackets, I need you to fat shame my husband and me. We both gained weight over our 7.5 years married and 12.5 years together. Please help us. I'm super not buying yarn the rest of the year. Very, very cool. Tila. Look. When you've got a relationship 12.5 years long, the only thing bigger than the love you've developed for each other is the stomachs as they clash and your disgusting, overinflated innie belly buttons kiss every time you slap together. And when you do, I know it's just this titanic roll of horror and disgust. You think meteors were hitting the surface of the moon, the way shit ripples out apart from each other. But no, it's just your titanic stomachs slapping together like waves crashing on the shoreline. The only difference is your stomachs don't erode each other. They seem to amplify and enhance. Get your asses on a tandem treadmill. Run away from each other as fast as you can, but put a bungee cord between you. See who wins and drags the other along. It's really embarrassing the rest of us, though. We're tired of seeing you guys in public. No Guard says, please fat shame you. I don't fat shame other people at other people's request. That's a rule I have. I would have to request the fat shaming, and I have not. I have not. And it takes everything in me not to stand up and prove the haters wrong, but I won't do it. I won't do it. Okay. Alto Patone says, Fat Kata sounds like a ghetto girl's name. That's true. All right, we got to get into... Damn, oh my God! Smooth Brain Ops, what the fuck are you doing? Just sent a huge Rumble rant. $350. Jesus, he says, hey, Rackets, this rant is almost as big as you are. Oh, well, mo money, mo problems. Well, that's because I mo eaten. Shit. Thank you. Okay. Should we start with the COVID thing or should we start with the DHS leaks? Fuck. You just fat shame that lady's husband at her request. Yeah. Well, the two become one when you get married. So it's the same thing. Very cool. Thank you. Yeah, DHS. We'll do DHS. A $350 bottle of booze with that. Let's see. Hold on. Wait, did we know about this? Sort of. Oh, fuck. Where's the Posobiec tweet from today? We knew that the disinformation thing was coming, right? Because they had that Nina Jankowicz chick. 350 is almost Nick's weight in kilos. Okay. Okay. Let's see. What do we got? Hold on. I got to find the Posobiec tweet real quick. So nice that my Twitter's gone. Your account is permanently suspended. Okay. What the fuck is this? Stop getting sucked in. I gotta stop getting sucked in. Police have joined with pro-Bolsonaro protesters. Oh, I don't know anything about what's going on in fucking Brazil or whatever. Where are we? I just got to find this Poso tweet. Fucking hell. I had it earlier, but I had to close all of my windows. Oh, here's the actual article. We'll do that. Thank you. It's from The Intercept. It's written by Ken Klipperstein and Lee Fang. Okay, here we go. Have someone tweet at Elon for you to get your account back? A bunch of people have. A bunch of people have. The Department of Homeland Security is quietly broadening its efforts to curb speech it considers dangerous. An investigation by The Intercept has found years of internal DHS memos, emails, and documents obtained via leaks and an ongoing lawsuit, as well as public documents, illustrate an expansive effort by the agency to influence tech platforms. The work, much of which remains unknown to the American public, came into clearer view earlier this year when DHS announced a new disinformation governance board. Yes, this was going to be headed up by Nina Jankowicz. And then she got fired after doing some of those fucking stupid. She was like on TikTok or whatever, doing weird videos, very weird videos that were unbecoming of a person, much less a government official. Thank you, Chef Adam. That hurts. Kind of like I slipped and fell, landed on a knife. All right, here we go. The Disinformation Governance Board, a panel designed to police misinformation, the false information spread unintentionally, disinformation, false information spread intentionally. Of course, the biggest source of disinformation in the United States is the United States government itself. And this shouldn't even be like, this isn't even a secret. To spread false information intentionally typically requires an authoritative source on the information. You have to know what is intentionally untrue to intentionally spread the untruth. Misinformation would be more common from the public. But disinformation comes from the government or maybe a foreign government. But our government does this all the time. All the time. And malinformation, factual information shared typically out of context with harmful intent. And of course, this is done all the time, but actually not in the way that you would conventionally think about it, right? This is done, the harmful intent is usually going in a direction that's a little surprising. Let's see. That allegedly threatens U.S. interests. While the board was widely ridiculed, immediately scaled back, and then shut down within a few months, other initiatives are underway as DHS pivots to monitoring social media now that its original mandate, the war on terror, has been wound down. We didn't need a war on terror disinformation board. This fucking legacy, by the way, we owe to the fucking Republicans, because it started with Bush. And it started when the Republicans had power in Congress. The authorized use of military force was not a declaration of war, except on the American people. And all of the stuff that came with it, the Patriot Act, the financial controls, the social media monitoring, all of the shit that we've got from this left as a legacy that impacts your life and my life. It always starts with terrorism, and it always ends up in two places: drugs, the drug war, the war on drugs, the perpetual war, the war we'll never win, the war we can't win, the war we're destined to lose, and constantly makes the problem worse. And then social control. It always starts with a fucking towel-headed terrorist every time, because they are America's boogeyman. I worked in banks in the early 2000s, the early aughts. And when you work in a bank, you have the FBI, like the most wanted list, right? It's a little different right now, but at the time, the United States enemies list, the top 10 enemies, you would be embarrassed to be scared of any of these people if you ever saw them. The most dangerous men in the world were all these little 5'4" manlets named some version of Muhammad al-Akbar. They're tipping the scales at a burly 126 pounds and shit. This is who we were afraid of. We were afraid of the fucking skinnies. These were the scariest people in the world. If you ran into them in public, if they like, Dirk Allah, Muhammad Jihad, like you just do the hold your arm out meme, and they'd sit there ineffectively swinging at you. These people weren't scary, but they ginned it up this way. It's always this little, like, these little 5'4" motherfuckers brought the country to its knees starting in 2001. And still today, 21 years later, the impacts of what they did, they're gone. You ever hear ISIS anymore? Like, do you hear about Al-Qaeda? Al-Qaeda, ISIL? Or worry about ISIS and ISIL. You don't hear those anymore. They don't fucking matter. They're ineffective. Their legacy, though, that fucks you every day. Every single day. That's why you're getting banned on social media. Believe it or not. Believe it or not, those social media bans, they go back to terrorism. That terrorism shifts to domestic terrorism, which shifts to misinformation, which might lead to domestic terrorism. Because something you say might make somebody mad and might make somebody do something stupid. That's the theory. It went from active recruitment to an Islamic jihad to, well, you said a fat joke and that might make somebody go shoot up a Jenny Craig. As long as there's black people in it, apparently. It always starts with something scary and ends with bullshit to ruin your life. That's how government control works. And of course, we see it now with the pandemic, right? The big scary thing. The big scary pandemic. Oh, you're all going to die. You're under 70. Weren't that big of a risk. But okay, I guess. You're all going to die. We need to save you from your own death. You don't do that anywhere else, but this one was really important. And then that social control, that will last forever. That'll last for generations. The next scary disease, masks. Boom, straight out the gate. Well, we got to be cautious. We don't have to go as far as locking everything down yet. We got to get those masks on just for a month, 2 months, 2 weeks to stop the spread. 2 weeks is 2 fucking years. I still have to put a mask on in certain places. Why? Don't know. Don't know. Can't figure it out. I walked around licking homeless people during the pandemic. I lived. I don't know if they did, though. But this is the effort. This is where it goes. Same thing with this shit. It starts, of course, with the war on terror. Of course it did, because everything started with the war on terror. Our generation, my generation, is forever anchored to the war on terror. Like a fat kid tied to the table to keep them away from the buffet because they're running out of chicken. All right, here we go. Behind closed doors and through pressure on private platforms. And this is where it gets really fucking interesting. The U.S. government has used its power to try to shape online discourse. According to meeting minutes and other records appended to a lawsuit filed by the Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt, a Republican who is also running for Senate, discussions have ranged from the scale and scope of government intervention in online discourse to the mechanics of streamlining takedown requests for false or intentionally misleading information. And now is when we've got the important part. This section right here. This is where the important part lies. Because you cannot sue under Section 230. You cannot sue an entity for moderating its content that someone else posts, for making a good faith effort at some level of moderation. Can't sue them. I mean, you can try, it'll get dismissed. They're not liable for it. Fuck you, is what they say, right? But if the government has a private entity acting in a manner typically reserved for state action at the request of the state, we go from it being a private company to something called, I've been talking about this for years as a possibility, but we didn't have the link. And now we might. Now we might have the data. We're sniffing around the waistline of the data, right? We're like, oh, okay. All right. Like Joe Biden, we're on the scent. Like, there's an 8-year-old nearby. I know it. I better go tell her not to have any men in her life except me. Now we're on the scent of where the government intervention was, where the government request was. To have these private platforms act as either what's called a state actor or a quasi-state actor. A state actor is where a private company is contracted by the government to do a thing that the government wants done. Government says, we will pay you to do X. That's a state actor. A quasi-state actor is a little bit different. A quasi-state actor is where a government incentivizes or requests in a limited capacity a private entity to do something for the benefit of the public that is typically reserved for government intervention. Censorship is a government role. I know that seems kind of weird because we get censored by private companies all the time, but we're not actually being censored, right? Like, you're not being censored because a private company doesn't have the force of law behind it to take you off of whatever. You may not be able to use their platform, but you're free to go somewhere else. But here's the thing with government. With government, if they are censoring you, it doesn't matter if another platform or avenue of speaking exists, right? If Twitter bans you because they're like, we just don't like what you say, you can go to Facebook, in theory, and say the same thing. You can go to Rumble and say the same thing. Twitter bans you, there's another avenue. If you're on a government forum and they ban you, They can't just say, well, you could go to Twitter and say your thing, because that is the government. And the government doesn't get to argue that there's an alternative platform. They don't get to. They are held to the standards of the First Amendment. Now, the First Amendment is not absolute, because our Supreme Court has been a giant bunch of cucks for a fucking long time. And they determined that Congress shall make no law actually meant Congress shall make no law unless it's okay. Unless isn't in the fucking Constitution anywhere. I don't know if people don't understand this. It's not there. When you go to the Second Amendment and it says the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, it does not say unless the gun looks mean, unless it fires faster than we thought it might, unless the bullets are too cool, unless they're having too much fun. It just says the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. But our Supreme Court, after taking the power to do so in Marbury versus Madison, by the way, power that is not given to them in the Constitution, to determine what is and isn't constitutional and what is and isn't law, the Supreme Court took the power to say that when it says shall not be infringed, it actually means shall not be infringed unless we allow it to. And we will allow it to be infringed over and over and over again. Like a trafficker will allow our sweet, sweet virginal rights to be infringed by monsters over and over again. But this rant all started with the idea, the focus that I lost, that the government's role is censorship because they have the force of law. They can threaten to remove you under penalty of law. I might have to step away from the stream for just a minute. I'll be right back. Whew. Ryan, the editor's gonna have to get rid of that long pause. Sorry, had a when you can, if you guys don't know, you probably don't. My I'm at one end of the house, so I'm loud all the time doing my show, but no one knows. They can't hear me, and I can't hear them. When I can hear them, and I hear a kid cry from across the house, I got to go see if they're still alive. So just had to go make sure. They're just up washing their hands. I don't know. Went to bed an hour and 10 minutes ago. Just up washing their hands. I'm like, and then they were, of course, running through the house. One tripped and ran into the other one. But it's like, why are you washing your hands after midnight? Like, okay, where was I? How much to buy Ryan the editor? I don't know. I don't know. Ryan, what are you buying? Okay, here we go. What I was getting to is this. The government's role is censorship because they have the force of law. And governments typically have been the censors. Private censorship is new because most people have not had the opportunity, ability, or power aggregated so heavily as we do now in these big tech social media companies to prevent speech, to prevent people from talking, because you could always go to the next guy. Historically, there were several newspapers. If you couldn't get your letter to the editor in one, you had 100, 200, 1,000 others to send your letter to the editor to. We talked about this in the Amber Heard trial. They had a list of potential papers to publish Amber Heard's op-ed. Where they landed, of course, was the Washington Post, but it could have been anywhere. It could have been New York Times, could have been LA Times, Chicago Times, Baltimore Sun, the AP, Reuters could have published it. I mean, all sorts of places could have published this thing. They landed on Washington Post because that's where they had the contact. Newspapers are not in the business of censoring because there was another competing newspaper next to it. Big tech's getting different. There's only a couple. There's really only Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Once you get past them, TikTok, I guess. You're running out of places that have the comparable reach that these initial few do. So it's typically government. Now, so when government steps in and says, hey, we have a typical role of censorship, we can't do that. Because if you try and censor someone in the US as a government, you have to respect their First Amendment rights. You have to probably pass strict scrutiny because your censorship is probably based on the content itself. It's content based, not content neutral. It's content based. They say, we don't want this thing. We don't want misinformation about COVID. We don't want bad talk about our wars. That's censorship. That's content based, not content neutral. And that gets the highest level of protection. Government has to have a real fucking good reason for that. There are reasons where the government does get to censor speech about a specific topic. The release of troop movements, for example, can be deemed secret. And people can be prosecuted if they obtain that information and disclose it without the authorization to do so. The idea is to protect our military personnel overseas. Now, does the government overuse this? Probably. Tried to use it on Edward Snowden and would absolutely, if he came back, try and pin Edward Snowden with this as an enemy of the state. But they say, well, we're not prosecuting him for leaking the fact that we took unconstitutional actions for decades and that we're looking to expand our unconstitutional activity until he said it, until Edward Snowden released that. We're not going to talk about that. We're actually just mad that he compromised some troop locations in Afghanistan. Oh, were you? That's what it was? Oh, sure. Right. Yeah, that's it. Like the names of CIA agents and stuff like that, names of sensitive or locations of sensitive government, national security interests, things like that. The government has a limited purpose to say, yeah, we actually do want to stop people from talking about these things because it's relevant to national security. And we have a mandate to provide for the common defense in the Constitution. Okay. That's how we get through strict scrutiny. The first part, which is it a compelling government interest? The second part of strict scrutiny is this the least restrictive means that we can take to achieve the goal without sweeping up otherwise protected activity? So you say, okay, we can only stop this type of speech that discloses these types of locations that are marked in this particular way. Very, very limited. Other stuff isn't going to be swept up in that activity typically. So that's the idea of how this works. That's a government role. When we start saying we want to stop people with different facts, which is actually just opinion, about COVID that counter the government narrative. Oh, well, you can't do it. So you employ Twitter to stop it. You employ YouTube to stop it. When you've done that, you've potentially, if the government has requested this or heavily inferred that a company needs to do this, they may become a quasi-state actor. This is getting back to the language we used before. That quasi-state actor has to abide by the First Amendment. Does not just get a free ticket to censorship, which means potentially we can sue places like Twitter as a government entity when they take on a traditional government role at the request of the government. And that's all I'm trying to say on it. That's all. Contingency plan. Tila of Grayskull says, I was the one who showed you rackets. Rude. I'm absolutely not a hater. Thank you for the husband-wife fat shame. I know. I didn't think you were a hater. You asked for a fat shame. That's what you got. Okay, back to this. Platforms have got to get comfortable with government. It's really interesting how hesitant they remain. Microsoft executive Matt Masterson, a former DHS official. Oh, well, he's former DHS, and then he gets parked in one of the big tech platforms. No big deal. No big deal. Texted to Jen Easterly, a DHS director, in February. So you have a former DHS official texting the DHS director from inside a big tech company about how, well, these people just need to get on board with the government directing how big tech works, right? Because the government can't make big tech. If the government makes a big tech platform, they have too many restrictions on what they can do on it. In March meeting, Laura Demlow, an FBI official, warned that the threat of subversive information on social media could undermine support for the U.S. government. Too fucking bad. We aren't required to support the U.S. government. That's the whole point of 1776, is we aren't required to support a government. Demlow, according to notes of the discussion attended by senior executives from Twitter and JP Morgan Chase, they got the banks. They always got the banks. Well, if the big tech doesn't want to censor them, maybe, I don't know, there's a possibility, perhaps, maybe they don't get a bank account. Thanks, JP Morgan. Right? Stress that we need a mafia infrastructure that is held accountable. Fuck me. Saying the quiet parts out loud. A mafia infrastructure. We do not coordinate with other entities when making content moderation decisions, and we independently evaluate content in line with the Twitter rules, a spokesperson for Twitter wrote in a statement to The Intercept. Yeah, they gave the formal answer, but the real answer is that when you've got government showing up in your office saying, hey, just some rumors coming out here, that Hunter Biden laptop story, by the way, that was censored according to their content moderation policies at the request of government. We wouldn't want this to impact the election. That would be really unfortunate, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be really unfortunate if the people knew the truth about the son of the presidential candidate? Can't have that. We don't want that to happen. They might not vote for him. And our surveys showed they were correct. They wouldn't. There's also a formalized process for government officials to directly flag content on Facebook or Instagram and request that it be throttled or suppressed through a special Facebook portal that requires a government or law enforcement email to use. At the time of writing, the content request system at facebook.com/xtakedowns/login is still alive. DHS and Meta, parent company of Facebook, did not respond to a request for comment. The FBI declined to comment. Sue them into the fucking dirt. sue them into the fucking dirt. You have a special government portal for throttling and takedowns. What's the First Amendment protection for the person who gets throttled or taken down? That's content-based. Holy shit. We never had this. We never had this information. I've talked about this subject for the past 5 years. We've never had the information until now. Now we've got it. And make no mistake, they're coming. Those lawsuits are coming. DHS's mission to fight disinformation, stemming from concerns around Russian influence in the 2016 presidential election, began taking shape during the 2020 election. And over efforts, here we go, right? The boogeyman, Russian influence. But the real boogeyman was Trump. Trump was the boogeyman all along, right? Over efforts to shape discussions around vaccine policy during the coronavirus pandemic, the new boogeyman. Documents collected by The Intercept from a variety of sources, including current officials and publicly available reports, reveal the evolution of more active measures by DHS. According to a draft copy of DHS's quadrennial Homeland Security Review, DHS's capstone report outlining the department's strategy and priorities in the coming years, the department plans to target inaccurate information on a wide range of topics, including the origins of the COVID-19 pandemic and the efficacy of the COVID-19 vaccines, racial justice. You fucking what, mate? Racial justice? Why is the government at all involved in commentary and discussions around racial justice? U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. Oh, we wouldn't want misinformation about that, would we? It was a perfectly executed withdrawal. No equipment was left behind. No people were left behind. No one died, and Afghanistan is a fucking paradise. And the nature of U.S. support to Ukraine. Well, again, we wouldn't want to go against the official narrative, would we? We wouldn't want to do that. Remember, this is all based on the boogeyman of Russian collusion. How'd that Russian interference in the 2016 election, how have all the investigations on that turned out? Anybody remember? You better remember what the outcome of those investigations were. Said in the locals chat, smartest thing they've said all day because there's no anti-fat comments in it. And anti-fat talk is way too common on the internet these days. We got to curb that down. I, for one, am a friend of the fats. I love fat people. They don't smell like rotting tissue or anything like that at all. What are you talking about? They said, we didn't drop a bomb on a family of 12 in that Afghanistan withdrawal. Nah. Bunch of kids. Right? Didn't happen. Let's see. Mandy says, Nick, can I sign your tits? Sure, girl. You can do it. All right, here we go. The challenge is particularly acute in marginalized community, the report states, which are often the targets of false or misleading information, such as false information on voting procedures targeting people of color. Oh, yet again, the blacks got hoodwinked. They just the media's opinion of black people is far lower than the alt-rights has ever been. Because at least the alt-right will say, well, the average IQ is blah, 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 blah. And the media is just like, these nyuckas over in the hood getting fucking hoodwinked all the time. Nobody, they can't, they're just like, the media's like, black people are the dumbest people on earth. They can't even get a driver's license. They don't even know how. Can't do it. According to the media, black people are susceptible to any trick or prank, which I guess is why David Blaine is so successful. It's so horrifying. Where were we? The inclusion of the 2021 U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan is particularly noteworthy. I think the racial thing is particularly noteworthy to me, given that House Republicans, should they take the majority in the midterms, have vowed to investigate. This makes Benghazi look like a much smaller issue, said Rep. Mike Johnson, Republican from Louisiana, a member of the Armed Services Committee, adding that finding answers will be a top priority. How disinformation is defined by the government has not been clearly articulated, and the inherently subjective nature of what constitutes disinformation provides a broad opening for DHS officials to make politically motivated determinations about what constitutes dangerous speech. And of course, this is it. Let me tell you the secret. Let's say I'm about done with this article. I don't want to read the whole thing because we've got what we need. Let's say the quiet part out loud. Misinformation and disinformation from the public isn't fucking real. It isn't real. It doesn't exist. It's not a thing. Because you forming an opinion about a subject and stating it, even if you're wrong, is not misinformation or disinformation. It's just wrong. And we have the freedom and the fucking right to be wrong. And that's what is so offensive about this. We're losing the ability to be incorrect. How do you learn? If you're not allowed to be incorrect, how do you learn to be correct? You can't just be told the correct answer and given it. You have to fucking fail and find out why you failed before you know how you succeed. If the government is the arbiter of truth and correct opinion, then you can never know why your wrong opinion was wrong. You can only know that the right opinion has been handed to you, and you don't need to ask that question, you fucking peasant. It's the old church. Actually, it's the new church, right? Just like the old church, the new cathedral, just like the new cathedral. The newest Vatican is the U.S. government. Vatican IV or whatever, it's just the U.S. government. They're the new papacy. They determine truth. They determine heresy. They condemn. We condemn with drone strikes. They used to have to send like a legion of knights. Now we do it with a drone. Done. Fix that misinformation problem in Oman, right? Or in Yemen. It was Yemen. Anwar al-Awlaki. I'm going to go back to it every time. A monster, a horrific person, a disgusting pile of garbage. Anwar al-Awlaki, but a U.S. citizen. The due process he received was a chain of command request where, if you don't know this story, the Marines spotted al-Awlaki. I think it was Marines, Marine Recon probably, spotted al-Awlaki at a like a coffee house or a cafe in Yemen, a non-war zone. He's a U.S. citizen, but also a Muslim cleric, spouting hatred and radicalizing people. The fucking, I don't know what you call him, preacher, Muslim equivalent of a preacher. What's that? What's that? The camel sayer of the Fort Hood shooter, right? Horrific human being, very unpalatable speech. But an American citizen, overseas in Yemen. The due process that we hope to receive is a knock and announce from a uniformed officer to inform us that we are under arrest for alleged crimes supported by probable cause. Here's a warrant. Let's pick you up. Right? That's what we want. He didn't get that. Again, I think this man is garbage and probably deserved to die. It's not my choice. What he got was an Obama smile, a chain of command request from a drone pilot after a radio call from a Marine says, yes, we can confirm that's him. Here's the car. Here's the location. And then it goes, do we have permission to fire? Fire. Press the button. American citizen gets fucking glassed in the middle of a foreign country. That's it. Where was his right to an attorney? What's his crime? It's really uncomfortable to talk about. His crime was treason, of course, against the United States, providing material aid and comfort against or to America's enemies, right? Where was his trial, though? Where's the arrest? He spoke out against the U.S. government. Oh, wait a minute. A lot of people do now, don't they? A lot of people on the right speak out against the U.S. government all the time. I do. Fuck them. I have nipples, Greg. You gonna milk me? Hey, Nick, what happened to the Johnny Depp painting? Think I should read back there and switch it? Oh, okay. Here you go. Here you go, fuckers. Yeah. Yeah, I'll just go get it. We just switch it. Fuck you, chat. There. There, it's switched. Switch, you cunts. There you go. Still fat. I agree. Okay. Woo. Confirm Nick has no ass. I know. I know. I need someone to come inject stuff into my ass. Oh my God, no! No, God damn it!
Gay!
I meant like a butt lift. Oh, now I'm dead. Well, I've gone from fat to just fucking gay today. I did that one on my own. Whew. Well, save a hospital bed next to me, Paul Pelosi. I'm on my way. Oh my God. Whew. Okay. Well, speaking of ass injections, I don't know if you guys have. I don't know if you guys are aware of talking about flat asses. We're talking about, frankly, at the end of the day, what we're talking about is inflation. We're talking about is inflation. And inflate that ass. Inflate that ass. You know what's a hedge against inflation is gold and silver, brought to you by the Birch Gold Group. The Birch Gold Group is here right now to help you figure out how to hedge against inflation and market volatility. There are all sorts of people out there. You never know when your stock will crash. Like your skinny stock might crash in one day. One ill-fated screen capture could go ahead and crash your skinny stock. You're like, oh no, I'm embarrassingly thin. I've got no muscle on me at all. And so I'm like, nope, you're a fat piece of shit. Because you leaned the wrong way. If you had gold and silver in your IRA, might not happen. Or it might not happen as fast. And that is the beauty of hard assets. You don't want soft assets. You've seen my soft assets. Very embarrassing. Very, very bloaty. Little disgusting. They fluctuate in and out. But my hard assets, oh yeah. Those don't fluctuate unless you ask. And that's what gold and silver can bring to your portfolio. The type of rock solid thrusting investment that will keep you and whatever else you touch satisfied for generations to come. And this is an IRA or a 401k. This is what you've worked your life to build. And you want it satisfied, and you want it to satisfy you when you come to cash the check on that ass. And the Birch Gold Group is here to do it. All you have to do is go to birchgold.com/nose. You click this green button. Use your finger and circle yourself if you're on a touch screen, and they will give you a free information kit on how gold and silver might fit into your retirement plan and may be the right thing for you. Look, it's not the right thing for everyone. We all have different fetishes. A certain group in the population's fetish is universally gold and silver, but not everybody's is. And it may not be right for you. The only way you can know is if you get all the information you need. And that's what Birch Gold Group really wants to do. It's to give you information about this so you can make an informed decision about your financial future. birchgold.com/nose. It's linked in this description. Click that thing. They'll get you some information. Look, this is the last day of my Birch Gold sponsorship for now. Maybe there's another one on the horizon. I don't know. There's uncertainty ahead. But during this month, I have made all sorts of jokes in the middle of these ad reads. I've made them into a meme. And they have never said anything to me at all about it. They never said, hey, don't. The only email I got during the pendency of this ad campaign was, hey, can you tell me the timestamp on this stream that you did the ad read because it was not the normal time? I said, sure. Found him the timestamp, sent it to him. That's it. So a company that is willing to work with a jackass like me, making various jokes on the internet and never asking me to stop, that's a company I'd work for again and again. And that's a company I'd work with in my own personal accounts. And will be considering, certainly, the value of these things in my own retirement plannings. So, did I say something other than last month? It was last month. Did I say last year? Fucking dumb. So anyway, yes, my contractual obligation ended in October, but this stream started in October for me, so I included it in. Okay. So anyway, check them out, birchgold.com/knows. Let's move on to the next story, right? Let's move on to the next story. And by the way, I know a ton of you guys have actually clicked on that link, have gotten information. A bunch of you reported back, hey, they got back to me. I don't know if you worked with them or not, but that you got the information is actually super, super helpful for me, because that says, hey, this guy can get people to click the button. So, very nice. Thank you. Thank you. Aquatic says, hey, fat guy, thought your contractual obligation ended in October. That's what I just said. Damn. Just don't let your ass get caught altering a Hillary Rodham Clinton video on a live stream like Gouveia did. Wait, who would I? First of all, if you ever catch me altering a video, you know it's fake, because I can't fucking alter video. I have to hire Ryan. You think I can alter video? You think I could do this? Blurry back here. I'll fade into obscurity. I'll fade into obscurity. Let's see. All right, what's the next one? That was the DHS leaks. We got to go to the Babylon Bee, right? You can't even find the button, Nick. Help. Well, it's between the labia majora and above the labia minora. It's typically like a nice little, fleshy spot. And when you touch it, you hear like a little giggle. That's what it is. And when you touch it in different fun ways, it does all sorts of things. It's magic. It's not like a regular soundboard button. You press it and one sound comes out. If you press this button in different ways, different sounds come out. Not labia minora, minora. It's M-I, not M-E. God. I hate you. I hate you. Trying so hard to prove he isn't gay. Dude, Raider 99, buddy, booby, pumpkin. There's no going back. There's no going back. You can't, there's no way. Very gay, forever gay. I'm an eternal gay. It's over. It's over. Okay. Montagraph's in the chat. Hey, Mont, can you guys chat? I don't ask you to do weaponized autism very often, but to everybody in the Rumble chat, can you please just say a big happy hello to Montagraph, my best friend. I paid this guy a long time ago. Here it comes. I got to get out there. This is fact. This is truth. I paid Montagraph to troll me. I was like, I need some engagement on my channel, Monty, and I'm running out of everything. And I just don't have any content to put out. And I'm like, please, will you enter my life? Can I pay you? Pretend I'm a melon and enter me, big boy. Can I pay you, please, to make my content relevant? Can I do that? And he said, yeah, of course you can. I don't get paid by anybody else, but I'll take your money because I like the way you look. I like that little pooch around your midsection. That's what he said to me. This is true. This is all fact. He's got the recorded phone call. He could release it, but he won't, Monty. So just let him know. Monty's been a longtime friend of the channel, paid him a long time ago, and finally got the money to pay him back recently. And I'm glad I'm glad we did. Glad we did. I'm happy to have him back as an employee to gin up controversy. Monty.
Why are you gay?
Okay. There we go. What are you doing, Ryan? I see random shit popping up on my fucking stream here. I don't even know what's going on. Okay, let's go to the Babylon Bee. Let's go to the Babylon Bee. Sent it to me in email. I got news for you. Hey! I got an email. Looks like Birch Gold might be on board for another month. Well, let the grift flow. How hilarious is Birch Gold, by the way? Because I was kind of wondering about Birch Gold. I was like, some of these have been kind of spicy. Some of them, and then I got the email. Birch Gold is back in for November, baby. What a fucking hilarious company. I want to talk to the CEO. I wonder if I can arrange that. I want to know about his humble origins. Hey, Monty. Get wrecked, loser. Okay, here we go. All right, I gotta Montegraph, please keep calling my business associate. Every time you say something, my life gets better. Yeah. If you don't know this, guys, while I was banned off of YouTube, Montegraph came in. He's like, Rekieta Law's never getting on YouTube. I was back on YouTube the next day. The next day. You can't buy friendship like Montegraph. Holy fuck. Oh. Whew. Oh. Okay, here we go. Let's see. All right. Yes, here we go. The Babylon Bee has sent oh, this is their real one, I think. Oh no, did they do? Oh, okay. Oh shit. Hold on. Oh shit. Okay. I need to hold on. I need to find it. The link I have is not Here's our brief in full. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Wait, is this the same? This is the same one. I'm going to have to find the actual brief, though. Oh, here's the real one. Okay, I found it finally. Goodness gracious. Sorry, I thought I had those loaded up, but I did not. Okay, so they actually wrote briefs on both sides of this issue. They wrote briefs on both sides of the issue, and so I'm going to read them both, and I won't tell you which one is true until we're done. How's that? Does that sound fun? So this case is captioned Anthony Novak, City of Parma, Ohio, versus the City of Parma. And one actually references the other. I don't know if I can actually hide the ball on this or not. Let's read. No, I'm going to dox it. Let's read the fake one first. Let's read the fake one first, because the real one actually references the fake one. Let's do it that way. Here we go. So here we go. This is Supreme Court of the United States, Anthony Novak versus City of Parma, Ohio. This is their brief in support of respondents. This is their brief in support of the city. This is what I suggested that they do. I said, I think it would be hilarious if the Babylon Bee wrote a satirical brief in support of the city and the police department that was written in a way where it actually supports the petitioner. So we'll see how they did. So here's their table of authorities. They list all their citations, which is great. And then their statutes, other authorities. Adolf Hitler's Mein Kampf. Benito Mussolini has revealed in his political speeches. Oh no, CNN's Brian Stetler. The Onion is a great parody site, but the Babylon Bee is straight up fake news. Joseph Stalin, the collected works. And Mao, the Great Leap Forward. Okay, their citations are already on point. I mean, if you're citing Mao, Stalin, and Hitler, okay, let's check it out. So the interest of the amicus curiae. So here's how amicus briefs works. You have to write why you are an interested party. You're not a party to the lawsuit, so you're not legally interested, but you may have some tangential interest, right? Like the outcome of this lawsuit could affect you in some other way. And so you write an amicus brief to say, hey, this issue is important to me, not the particular party. I mean, everybody writes it in support of a party, but they're presumably interested in the issue. And yes, Phil McCracken is in there as well. Philip McCracken, Humor in America, a source book. Then we got Tyler Huckabee. The Babylon Bee is refusing to delete the posts that got their account locked on Twitter. All right. The Babylon Bee is the world's most popular news site, bringing deadly serious, 100% accurate stories to the public's attention since 2016. The Bee has inspired many imitators, such as the Borowitz Report, Mad Magazine, and a rival news organization that unfortunately filed in support of the petitioner in this case, The Onion, often described as a less popular secular knockoff of the Babylon Bee. Since its inception 6 years ago, the Babylon Bee has been cited in congressional hearings, tweeted out by the once and future president of the United States, Donald Trump, based, and shared by millions of confused grandmothers on Facebook. The Bee receives tens of millions of visits every month, boasts millions of followers on popular social media sites like Facebook and Twitter, and also Truth Social, and has published over 10,000 articles containing a total of no fewer than 2 jokes. Yet, the Babylon Bee has faced tremendous opposition in its brief life. The site's account was unceremoniously banned from Twitter merely for honoring a public official with a prestigious award. So, number one, no counsel for any party authored this brief in whole or in part, and no individual or entity other than the Babylon Bee and its counsel made any monetary contribution intended to fund the preparation or submission of this brief. Timely notice of intent to submit this brief has been provided as required, and all necessary consents have been obtained. So that's their citation on the interests of the amicus. Ariel, so number 2 here. Ariel Zilbert, Twitter suspends Babylon Bee for naming Rachel Levine Man of the Year. That's what got him suspended. They named Rachel Levine Man of the Year. Fuck. It's hard to remember what actually happened in this world. All right. Let's see. CNN's Brian Stetler also called it fake news. Wait, what's their CNN's Brian Stetler, The Onion is a great parody site, but the Babylon Bee is straight up fake news. Okay, that's it. Just citation. Snopes has fact-checked dozens of its articles and incorrectly and libelously labeled them false, and thousands of liberals have left mean comments on its Facebook page. Thus, the Babylon Bee knows what it's like to have people to be mean to you. It files this brief in support of the respondents in this case, as it is the editorial staff's direct interest to make sure that people cannot make satirical or sarcastic critiques of, publish parody pages about, or post mean Facebook comments concerning the Babylon Bee because it really hurt their feelings. Okay. I can't say Stelter's name correctly because I hate him, okay? Leave me alone. Leave me alone. All right, introduction and summary of the argument. So your next step after your amicus, or after your interest of the amicus, is you have to provide a summary of your argument. So this is legal writing, okay? It's called IRAC format, not Iraqi format, but IRAC. Introduction, rule, argument, conclusion. That's how you write legal documents. And like, so the way an IRAC works out is you'll have an overarching IRAC and then mini ones for each subject. But basically this is it. You state your introduction, then you got the rule, then you got your argument, and then you've got your conclusion. So your introduction has the summary of the argument here. Then you'll flesh out your arguments in the body of the text. When the staff of the Babylon Bee were alerted to the pendency of this case, they immediately realized the importance of filing a brief in support of the Parma Police Department and City of Parma. It is essential to protect those with coercive power who wield it for self-preserving ends. Plus, the Babylon Bee just really likes police officers, what with their badges and guns and stuff. They're so cool. Moreover, deeper philosophical and constitutional issues are also at stake. First, abuse of the First Amendment should not be tolerated. The petitioner seeks to turn that provision into a living amendment stretched beyond its original meaning to include humor and laughter. This is dangerous, as it is clear from a close reading of the Constitution that laughter is never explicitly mentioned, and that is a slippery slope we do not want to slide down. Who knows what other kinds of speech might eventually be protected by the Bill of Rights? Speech from people we disagree with? Second, our society can only function if people get their information from a tightly controlled source that has never lied to us, like the government or the police. Then they can know it's 100% accurate. Petitioner's case threatens this status quo. God, I wish they would have filed this one, frankly. Third, the feelings of those who are being made fun of are rarely considered in free speech cases like this one. In other words, when assessing whether particular speech is protected by the First Amendment, courts must also consider whether that speech hurts someone's feelings. Fourth, it is impossible for us to function as citizens and humans if we suspect someone might be snickering at us behind our backs. That individuals might be allowed to use frivolous lawsuits to harass those who protect society from this sort of collapse is too much to bear. Read all the footnotes. I do. Most of them are just citations to articles. Argument. When the First Amendment was written, jokes hadn't been invented yet. Okay. The petitioner in this case, Anthony Novak, appeals to the First Amendment, but this argument does not hold water, for the Founding Fathers never intended for the First Amendment to protect jokes. Because jokes had not been invented yet, citing Fulton versus the City of Philadelphia, quote, courts must determine original public meaning of the Constitution. Historians mostly agree that the first joke was told by Bob Joke of Toledo, Ohio in 1927, well over a decade after the Constitution was written. It was, a copper walks into a speakeasy and the bartender says, "Get your own giggle water, kiddo." Its meaning has been lost to the ages. Clearly then, unless James Madison had a time machine, the framers of the Constitution only ever intended the First Amendment to cover serious talk and not jokes. See Philip McCracken, Humor in America, a source book, quoting James Madison, hated happiness. That's a fact. Madison was thinking the First Amendment would cover speech that existed in his day, such as "Tally ho, old boy, fetch me that powdered wig," and "The Johnson farmstead acquired 3 new chickens last fortnight," citing Marbury versus Madison. He was not thinking of parody pages of local police departments, memes featuring pictures of minions, or jokes about the relative size and obesity problems of your mother. That is, of course, not to even mention that the internet itself hadn't been invented yet. Al Gore wasn't even born until 1948. In short, the First Amendment cannot cover Mr. Novak's disparaging parody of the fine, upstanding police officers in this case because he did not write it with quill and ink by the light of a lamp fueled by whale oil, much as how the Second Amendment was only intended to protect the citizenry's right to bear muzzle-loading muskets and not fully semi-automatic 30-magazine clip assault pistol grip firearms. So the First Amendment cannot be applied to parody Facebook pages. See District of Columbia versus Heller. Parody is bad because it can make people doubt trusted institutions such as the government. One aim of parody is to mock ideas the satirist disagrees with, which is great when parody is pointed at acceptable targets such as people we ourselves disagree with. But when this dangerous weapon of free speech is pointed towards official trusted state sources, it becomes a deadly cannon of fascism aimed right at the heart of our democratic norms. Throughout history, we find examples of the powerless speaking out against the powerful, and every time we find the people who spoke out were on the wrong side of history. Okay. The powerful are always right. If they weren't right all the time, they would never be able to achieve such power. That's just science. See Mao Zedong, The Great Leap Forward. Think how much more effective the government could be if we banned comedy. Police officers could do whatever they wanted. Bureaucrats could rule with impunity. Presidents could get away with murder. Well, more than they already get away with anyway. It's really annoying and inefficient for the government when comedians are running around criticizing them. It can ruin their whole day. 3, when satire criticizes those in power, it makes them sad. We ask the court now to recall the fable of the emperor with no clothes. The insensitive, unruly child with no filter and a strong belief in the First Amendment shouted out for all to hear, "Hey, look at that dummy who's not wearing any clothes." See Carrier versus Kaminko, Alaska Inc. They cited a court case that references the emperor with no clothes. I agree with this. I agree with this line of reasoning, by the way. Because today I was a victim of hurt feelings. It's not a laughing matter. The amount of harm you can cause with words, not a laughing matter. Of course, The story is supposed to teach us that we must make a brave stand for the truth and that unpopular speech is sometimes correct. But no one ever thinks about how sad it made the emperor. Everyone praises the little boy for his darling and truthful statement, but nobody considers that the emperor might have been leaning back in a chair, turned to the side, and it might be distorted. Wait, might not have enjoyed being made fun of. I read that wrong. Imagine being up there all naked and whatnot, and everyone starts pointing and laughing at you, shouting things like, check out that dude's massive gut. Imagine that happening. I can't. I can't. I have no idea what that's like. And nice farmer's tan, and were you in the pool or something? Just not cool on any level. The court must consider the disastrous effect satire can have on the self-esteem of those who run trusted institutions. Studies show that people with low self-esteem have a harder time running everything and telling everyone what to do, and that's citing Joseph Stalin's collected works. This would be an unmitigated disaster for our society. Have you ever seen how sad Joe Biden looks? That's because lots of people on Twitter make fun of him. Thus, this shows that satire and parody are unacceptable in the current year because they make people sad. We can never truly enjoy our freedom since, as Americans, if we know that someone somewhere might be making fun of us, this is true. This is true. The petitioner in this case wants us to believe that free speech is more important than the police officer's freedom from having someone make fun of them. They want us to believe that the right to tell jokes is more important than a police department not looking foolish in front of the entire community. This is dangerous argument, probably shared by Hitler. Cites Mein Kampf. Okay. Freedom requires public safety. And when the public safety is threatened by the sadness of an authority figure, stopping people from telling jokes becomes a literal matter of life and death. As we all know, the use of government power that saves even just one life is always worth it and will never backfire in any way. History clearly shows us this, citing but all of history. Oh shit. Here's the Adolf Hitler quote. Ich aufgenommen Strudel unser Gebetsvergeben. Nein. That's good. That's good. Okay. If making fun of police officer can threaten public safety, we ask the court to consider the utter carnage that can be inflicted on the citizens of this country if unregulated comedians were free to make fun of anyone and anything at any time. The knowledge that someone somewhere out there is making fun of you is an existential threat to one's mental health and, by extension, a threat to the health of the entire country. How can we be free to pursue happiness if we become the butt of a cruel joke? I don't know. Conclusion in short, parody must be eliminated and humorists should be rounded up into camps and shot, citing Benito Mussolini. It is blood which moves the wheels of history. It's worth it if it saves just one person from getting laughed at. So there we go. Do you believe all this stuff? You are not smart. The police's arguments are lame. To see what we really think, read the brief we actually filed, at the Supreme Court. There it is, which is right here. This is the brief they actually filed. I thought they should have filed that one, though. Honestly, I really think they should have. I think it was fantastic. I think it was perfect. It was perfect. All right, so here we go. Now we've got the actual brief. Okay, so the same interest of the amicus curiae, same footnote. Babylon Bee is a dangerous, citing Libby Emmons, CNN reporter claims Babylon Bee is dangerous from the Post Millennial. Far-right misinformation site, citing New York Times, far-right misinformation site, the Babylon Bee uses satire claim to protect its presence on Facebook. Imagine the unmitigated audacity of the New York Times to be like this is fucking irritating. Oh, zoom it in. Yes. Sorry. Far-right misinformation site, the Babylon Bee uses satire claim to protect its presence on Facebook. Fuck you. But when its writers are up for a more of a challenge, occasionally uses satire to draw on and reinforce actual misinformation and conspiracy, citing oh shit, oh damn it. I missed this line that typically peddles fake news. That's citing Brian Stelter. And then here we go. This one is citing Parker J. Bach. Can the right make good satire without collapsing due to fake news? Wow. The Bee is part of the conservative media ecosystem famed for its conspiratorialism and questionable reporting. Citing, again, Parker J. Bach from Slate. These people write so many articles about the Babylon Bee. And it's been an open parody site and satire site forever. Like it's a right-wing misinformation committee. The Bee has had some success with the whole satire thing, with 20 million page views per month on its website, citing James Varney, the Babylon Bee, satire, real news from the Washington Times. The Bee is quite possibly the most popular source for satire in the history of the world. The Bee has inspired many imitators, including our fellow amicus curiae in this case, a cute little upstart known as the Onion. Like Mr. Novak, the Bee is frequently the target of censorship and attacks from powerful people who don't get, or at least don't appreciate, its jokes. The Bee has faced the ire of a diverse group of establishment media types, including the New York Times, the Washington Post, and CNN, and the wrath of massive tech companies who functionally control the lion's share of public debate in our society. As a matter of fact, the Bee is serving a brutal life sentence in Twitter jail as we speak. R.I.P. to the Babylon Bee. Ariel Zilber, Twitter suspends Babylon Bee for naming Rachel Levine Man of the Year. And the Babylon Bee is refusing to delete the posts that got their account locked on Twitter. Its writers would very much like to avoid a consecutive sentence in a government-run facility. Summary of the argument: truth is stranger than fiction, and fiction is illegal, at least in the Sixth Circuit. That court's decision depriving petitioner Anthony Novak of any opportunity to hold accountable those who searched his home, arrested him, and jailed him because the parody he wrote was too effective should be reviewed by this court on the merits. That's a good fucking paragraph. Props on that one. That is real. That's just good legal writing right there. First, parody plays an invaluable role in a free society. When parody is imperiled, citizens are deprived of one of their most effective means of criticizing the government. Another good one. Second, the Sixth Circuit's ruling will allow the state to punish vast swaths of speech erstwhile protected by the First Amendment. The Bee and its writers could be held criminally liable for many, if not most, of the articles the Bee publishes. Good grief, the Bee could even be on the hook for publishing this brief's doppelganger, which we just read. Third, the prospect that an individual or entity charged with a speech crime might ultimately be vindicated at a criminal trial does little, if anything, to temper the speech-chilling effects of the decision below. Okay, what they're talking about here, and this is a really, really important aspect of First Amendment protections, that is one of the good things the Supreme Court has done. So the argument is, well, we can arrest them if we have cause, and then, of course, their good name will be cleared. You know, once we have a trial and they've gone through it. But the process is the punishment. Indict them, label them a criminal, Tell the community that they're criminals. Tell their employers that they're criminals. Make them take time off of work. Make them miss meetings. Make them miss church. Make them go in, put them in chains, put them in a cell. Do all of the things that we do to criminals all the time. And then, well, they'll get out of it in the end. So the Supreme Court said the government can take certain actions that, while those don't directly violate the First Amendment in a legal sense because they don't ultimately result in a government punishment, they said, well, we need to protect against this thing called a chilling effect. Because if someone wants to say something, but there's a prospect that they might get arrested for it, then they just won't say it. And that infringes on the free speech rights of the person who would have otherwise said it if they knew they had the freedom to do so. Extremely important First Amendment principle there. The Sixth Circuit's qualified immunity on steroids approach means that state actors can search, arrest, jail, and prosecute offenders like Mr. Novak without fear of ever being held to account themselves. And again, that's what happened in this case. This guy was prosecuted. He won. He's not guilty. He won his case. Now he wants to go after the government for infringing his rights and causing him harm. Even though he didn't go to prison for it, he was harmed. And he has every right to pursue that. It's a USC, I can't remember the main thing, but it's a 1983 claim. Let's see. Knowledge that they may be searched, arrested, jailed, and prosecuted without recourse is enough to dissuade most would-be speakers, regardless of the potential for ultimate acquittal. And so then they cite their brief, Babylon B, as amicus curiae for respondents. See also the inevitable confused internet commentary that will follow. Argument: parody is essential to a free society. The Onion may be staffed by socialist wackos, but in their brief defending parody to this court, they hit it out of the park. Parody has a unique capacity to speak truth to power and to cut its subjects down to size. Its continued protection of the First Amendment is crucial to preserving the right of citizens to effectively criticize the government. Furthermore, parody shouldn't be stripped of constitutional protection just because it's not clearly labeled as parody. And requiring that parody be written so as to ensure that the most gullible in our society, the Facebook-using grandmother, the tween TikTok addict, the CNN reporter, don't take it seriously, ruins the parody for everyone else. The Sixth Circuit's decision undermines those fundamental principles, and this court should grant Mr. Novak's request for a writ of cert in order to right the free speech ship. The Sixth Circuit's ruling allows the government to punish vast swaths of constitutionally protected speech. Police, the Sixth Circuit has previously said, cannot punish a peaceful speaker as an easy alternative to dealing with a lawless crowd that is offended by what the speaker has to say, citing Bible Believers versus Wayne County. But that same court's ruling in this case means that police can punish a peaceful speaker if they are the ones offended. Critical distinction. In the original case, some people were out speaking some inflammatory Christianity, right? These fucking sodomites or whatever they said was probably golden, but they're out there criticizing somebody and it offended a crowd. And instead of going against the unlawful actions of the crowd, the police arrested the speaker for the crowd's reaction to the speaker. That's not the way it's supposed to go. And the Sixth Circuit said that's not the way it's supposed to go. But in this case, the crowd is the police who are given the arrest power, which just means that the mob was given the tools and the weapons to fight against the unpopular speaker. Ohio Revised Code Section 2909.04b makes it a felony to 1, knowingly, 2, use any computer, other electronic device, or the internet. 3, so as to disrupt, interrupt, or impair the functions of any police, fire, educational, commercial, or governmental operations. This is way overbroad. Way overbroad. This should not be a law, period. This should have been struck down a long time ago, because this scoops up tons of otherwise protected activity. You can't use any computer, electronic device, or the internet so as to disrupt, interrupt, or impair the functions of a police officer. It's a felony. How far does that go? How far does that go? In Mr. Novak's case, the Parma PD, backed by the city law director, a magistrate, and a municipal court judge, concluded that by creating his Facebook page, parodying the Parma Police Department, Mr. Novak had violated, or probably had violated, that statute. Therefore, the police reasoned he at minimum deserves search, arrest, jail time, and criminal prosecution. The Sixth Circuit didn't disagree, concluding that the police came close enough to getting it right to entitle them to qualified immunity. Qualified immunity is a routine pox on society. That is, respondents, quote, reasonably found probable cause in an unsettled case judges can debate. The Sixth Circuit reasoned that, 1, officers were permitted to rely on inferences to establish the knowledge element. 2, no one contests that Novak used a computer and the internet to create his page. And 3, the officers could reasonably believe that the calls to the department alerting it to the parody page's existence constituted a disruption. Voila, probable cause, or at least close enough to probable cause to justify a few nights in jail. Holy shit. You wrote a Facebook page, made some jokes, jail. Left in the hands of the Sixth Circuit and the Parma PD and other like-minded law enforcement, the speech-stifling Ohio statute used to go after Mr. Novak empowers state officials to search, arrest, jail, and prosecute parodists without fear of ever being held accountable. The upshot for the B is that, in Ohio at least, its writers could be jailed for many, if not most, of the articles the B publishes, provided that someone contacted law enforcement or another entity protected by 2909.04B to tell them that the articles exist. Yeah, because remember, that other element is, well, someone called us. Oh. Well, I mean, if someone called you, if someone called the police, then I guess that means we got to arrest the guy, right? Automatically. So if someone called, what are we supposed to do? So I switched my last glass of whiskey probably for the night is this triple barrel single batch bourbon whiskey sherry finish. This is from the Alamo Distillery down in Texas. Alamo Distilling Company. I really ended up enjoying both bottles that they sent. There was this one and the black, I think. We all know I liked the black. Yeah, here's the black label, Alamo Distilling. Both of them very good. I like the black label a little bit more than this one, but they're both very good. So thank you, big ups to Alamo Distilling Company. Cheers, brothers. All right. Take a simple example. Last March, a headline from the Bee trumpeted, donut sales surge as police departments refunded. Funny stuff, but suppose anyone had called the Parma Police Department to let them know that the Bee had published the article. In Ohio, the Bee could have been charged with a felony, its offices searched, and its writers arrested and jailed for days, all without consequence for the parties doing the charging, arresting, jailing, and searching. And what if Officer Riley's or Officer Connor's passive-aggressive brother-in-law had forwarded the article to one of them at his official police email address, and heaven forbid, Officer Riley or Officer Connor then had opened the email and read the headline while on the clock, thus interrupting his workday? Same result, a search, arrest, and felony charge for the B. And the sad thing is, they're not exaggerating. They're not exaggerating what could happen, because that is what happens when speech is stifled in any capacity. As with other news organizations of similar caliber and eminence, local police are a regular focus of the B's hard-hitting journalism, e.g. cop on laptop protecting community from drivers on cell phones, and police keep Antifa away from statues by taping job applications onto them. Okay, that was good. And then Uvalde police criticize Indiana mall armed citizen for not waiting around outside for an hour. Holy fuck. Whoa. That Uvalde headline hit fucking home. Didn't they? Holy shit. Shots fired. Yeah, the B was firing like they were in a school. Damn. But their federal counterparts star even more frequently in the B's digital pages. It was the B, after all, that first reported on these recent antics at the FBI. FBI storms convent to arrest group of dangerous pro-life extremists, and FBI gets great night's sleep after raiding My Pillow guy. Okay, so this one is the Babylon B. The article, the two different articles are the citation there. But the B would be safe from the wrath of Parma's finest and their ilk in these circumstances, right? Since the FBI is a federal agency and not an agency of Ohio or one of its subdivisions? Wrong. The Ohio statute makes no distinction. Thus, had a caller contacted the FBI field office in Cleveland or Cincinnati to inquire about one of those stories or to express outrage over the suspicious timing of the FBI's raid on Melania Trump's Mar-a-Lago closet and the Attorney General Garland's acquisition of a haute couture wardrobe, 13C, the FBI raid on Melania's closet was justified, says Merrick Garland, wearing gorgeous new evening gown and sun hat. The B would have been subject to a felony charge and right or jail time under the Ohio statute for disrupting, interrupting, or impairing governmental operations. Damn. And there could hardly be a more open and shut case for the enforcers of law and order in Ohio than that of a story from the B reporting on testimony before the House's January 6th committee. I thought I was going to die, says Capitol Police officer who held door open for protesters on January 6th. The Babylon B is out here doing the fucking work. Doing the fucking work, aren't they? So the two citations on this page are just bare citations to the articles. The article concluded with this self-incriminating line. The FBI has issued a warrant for the man who called the officer a cupcake and is asking anyone with information to call Nancy Pelosi's office immediately. That story is, by the Sixth Circuit's lights, dripping with probable cause. After all, the article explicitly asked readers to play their part in disrupting, interrupting, or impairing governmental operations by calling the Speaker of the House and thereby momentarily inconveniencing one of her staff members. All this is only the tip of the iceberg, as the statute criminalizes not only disruption, interruption, or impairment of police or government operations, but also disruption, interruption, or impairment of fire, educational, or commercial operations as well. Thus, the Bee and its writers could be variously subjected to search, arrest, jail, and prosecution for the publication of hundreds of articles unrelated to policing or other government operations. Consider college athlete surprised to learn his school has classes. Had a reader called the Office of Academic Affairs at The Ohio State University about the article, that would have been enough for law enforcement, without fear of being held to account themselves, to arrest the Bee's staff for disruption of educational operations. Likewise, with articles with the articles, Aaron Judge sets record for most home runs by person with a normal-sized head, and Subway begins promotional offer where they will use real meat for a limited time. Had someone contacted the Guardians or Reds about the former or an Akron Subway franchise about the latter, then it's goodbye freedom for the team at the Bee. Per the decision below, Parma's boys in blue could reasonably find probable cause at that point and therefore search, arrest, charge, and jail with impunity. In short, vast amounts of protected speech are swept up in this criminal prohibition of alarming breadth, citing U.S. versus Hernandez-Cavillo, quoting U.S. versus Stevens. When local police and federal appellate courts, officials both high and petty, join forces to execute and then condone the search, arrest, jailing, and prosecution of parodists for protected speech, the very core of the First Amendment is rendered a dead letter. That's West Virginia State Board of Education versus Barnett. So now we're on to qualified immunity specifically. Where qualified immunity deprives a speaker of civil remedy, acquittal for a criminal speech charge is cold comfort. Mr. Novak ultimately was acquitted of the felony charge leveled against him, and the Bee hopes that when its turn comes to face the Committee of Public Safety in Ohio, the result might be the same. But this court should not confuse acquittal in circumstances like these with vindication of the robust free speech rights enshrined in the First Amendment. This goes to the most troubling aspect of the Sixth Circuit's decision. Certain passages of that opinion give the impression that the court's sympathies lie with free speech. The court, for example, this is good argument, by the way, because they're going to set up where the court covered its ass on speech. Oh, no, we sympathize with the speaker, and we're really glad that he didn't get arrested, right? They're going to do that, but then they're going to knock it the fuck down. Court, for example, purports to regret that neither the police officers nor any of the other state officials involved ever put the brakes on the search or the arrest or the jail time or the criminal trial brought upon Mr. Novak. Man, we just wished somebody would have stopped them. Maybe they should have stopped themselves. That would have been the ideal. If they just had stopped themselves, everything would be okay. But the aggressive form of qualified immunity the Sixth Circuit adopted, in fact, gives state officials a blank check to continue suppressing speech via these same means. The court had its doubts about the rectitude of respondents' actions, yet it chose to shield them from liability anyway. The Sixth Circuit purported to leave the parties in a state of relative parity. At the end of the day, the court opined, neither side got all they wanted. Fuck the government. It doesn't get to get what it wants. It only gets to get what it is empowered to get by our rights given to it under the Constitution. Little did Anthony Novak know that he'd wind up a defendant in court. So too for the officers who arrested him. Oh, it's the same, isn't it? It's the same being a criminal defendant and then being a civil defendant where you're not actually on the hook, but your department is. Absolutely identical. Disgusting. The Sixth Circuit purported to leave the parties in a state of relative parity. Wait, read that one. Sorry. But in fact, the contrast between the parties' positions could hardly be starker. The Sixth Circuit's decision allowed respondents to deal a fell blow to Mr. Novak's First Amendment right to criticize the government while at the same time leaving Mr. Novak without any means of redressing this grievous constitutional violation. True, both Mr. Novak and respondents were, as the court's opinion says, defendants at one time or another, but Mr. Novak was a criminal defendant subjected to the ordeal of a criminal trial, including the fear of imprisonment, the public humiliation, and the financial strain that entails, citing Currier versus Virginia. And he was not just any criminal defendant. He was a criminal defendant and search subject and arrestee and jail inmate who hadn't done anything wrong. Yet he escaped criminal liability only because a jury adjudged him not guilty. Respondents, by contrast, were mere civil defendants, and even though they had violated his First Amendment rights, still they were afforded the luxury of avoiding trial altogether. They got a pretrial dismissal for qualified immunity. And the court acted like this is the same thing. Moreover, though they lost Mr. Novak's criminal case, respondents still managed to get what they wanted: thorough and efficient suppression of Mr. Novak's speech criticizing the police department. They intimidated Mr. Novak into removing his Facebook page, and then, by arresting him, searching his apartment, jailing him for 4 days, and foisting a criminal trial upon him, made it all but certain that he and anyone else paying attention would never commit a similar speech crime again. And this is what cops do often. Do not capitulate on this without talking to a fucking attorney. But they'll do this. Hey, we're going to really need you to delete that post. Look, it's just a good idea if you delete that post. You know, it'd probably go a lot better for you. Cops will say it all the time. It'll probably go better for you if you just go ahead and delete that, just delete it for now. Let's take it down. You can talk to, we'll kind of see what's going on. Take it. No. Do not fucking delete your speech because a police officer asked you to. They're not your lawyer. They cannot give you legal advice. In the eyes of a jury, you may be admitting that you've done something that you didn't do when that comes up later. Do not do it. That is intimidation. That is a violation of your First Amendment rights as far as I'm concerned. And I've represented people who've been bullied by a police officer to take down what was fully protected speech. And guess what? That case got dismissed. There was never a crime. And the police officers knew it. Everybody fucking knew it. Don't delete anything. In my case, it was a kid who wrote a review on a hospital page. Kid, he was an adult, but about his dad, who's a surgeon at the hospital. Said he did all sorts of shit. Performed surgeries drunk. Shit he'd heard him do. Also told the real story. That this guy had abused him for years and years and years as a kid. And continued his abuse into the kid's adulthood. Wrote that in a review on the hospital webpage. The dad contacted the police. No defamation action. Nothing like that. Contacted the police. And the police capitulated the fact that a prominent member in the community who worked for the hospital, which is the main employer, had written something bad on the hospital's review page. And the police threatened criminal charges, filed criminal charges for that. Now, how do you file criminal charges on that? Well, I'll tell you. In this case, there was a restraining order from the dad to the kid, which, by the way, was also not justified, but it was an ex parte restraining order preventing communication with the dad. So the kid posted a review on the hospital's webpage. And the dad said that was an improper contact in violation of the restraining order. And the police jumped at the opportunity to enforce the surgeon's will on the victim of domestic violence. Fuck the police. Never delete anything. Here we go. The only means Mr. Novak had to counteract this thoroughgoing suppression was to lodge an ex post civil suit against respondents in hope of holding them accountable. There was and is no other effective remedy available to him or the countless others whose federal constitutional rights are similarly abridged. But the Sixth Circuit closed that door to Mr. Novak leaving him bereft of recourse. Quote, to an aggrieved party, a right without a remedy is doubtlessly not much better than no right at all. Citing Triad Associations versus Robinson. Great line. Great line that happens all too often. Qualified immunity is fucking garbage. It is garbage. The B has no reason to believe that the result would be any different should Ohio authorities choose to bring parody in violation of 2909.04B charges against it or any of its writers. Sure, if the B were to roll the dice with the jury, sanity might prevail. That is by no means assured. And even if criminal trial victory were in the bag without a means of dissuading state actors from continuing to arrest and jail speakers they don't like, any such victory really would just be a less extreme loss. The writers at the B are a hardy bunch, accustomed to regularly and brilliantly absorbing blows from powerful, prestigious media outlets, and also from CNN that desperately want to muzzle the B. Child's play. But whining establishment types who are unable to take a joke and who possess the coercive power of the state are an entirely different matter. Add to that mix the aggressive, unbridled strain of qualified immunity propagated by the Sixth Amendment, it's enough to make Chuck Norris sweat. See, Chuck Norris comes out of the closet as even more of a man. Oh shit, I didn't make this bigger. I guess we can do that. Conclusion, the Babylon Bee respectfully asks this court to grant Mr. Novak's petition for a writ of cert. And there we go. Frankly, tremendous effort. Very to the point, very short, very, very brief. They fucking nailed it. They nailed the legal points. They nailed the critical arguments. It's not overly frivolous. I think they should have filed the first one. I think they should have filed the parody brief. But their second brief is very, very good. It's very, very good. Cheers to the Babylon Bee. Fantastic work, as always. And straight to the point. You know what I like that they did too? They really paid a nice deal of respect to the Onion when the Onion doesn't deserve any. Even though they did a good job, the Onion doesn't deserve any respect, and the Babylon Bee did. They said they fucking knocked it out of the park, and they're right. They're 100% right. Damn, Maiden Iron in the chat says a cop called me a bitch. I started talking shit. I was very drunk. He got snapped, picked me up, dropped me on my face, and once we were on the floor, I got to kick him in his face. Of course, I went to jail. Yeah, of course you did. Of course you did. That's how it goes. Killdozer, can they file both? I don't see why they couldn't. The court may not accept a second amicus from them. But damn, it was good. It was very well written. Very well done. Okay. Both of them are tremendous. The first one's very funny. The second one is still funny. Less funny, though. More serious. And it's 100% right. I find nothing to object to in that entire post. Okay, what do we got next? We talked about the DHS leaks. We talked about the Babylon Bee. Oh, it's almost 2. You know what? I'm going to skip the Atlantic article for now. Maybe we'll save that for tomorrow's show. It's not going anywhere. Let's declare a pandemic amnesty. Yeah, how about you give amnesty to the businesses that you shut down? There's a woman here in Minnesota. She was a business owner, a bar owner, I think, bar restaurant. She got the maximum sentence from a judge, 90 days, I think it was, in jail for daring to open her business to try and make any money during the pandemic. And the pandemic was fucking bullshit. It always was. It's a flu. Get over it. People die from the flu. A shitload of people die from the flu every year. It's a bad flu. And again, I had COVID. It sucked. I laid in bed for about 10 days, sitting there shivering. Felt terrible. Felt like I'd been beat up by Paul Pelosi's lover. MD Huge Ass over on Locals says, figure I'd send you $10 to go buy yourself a couple Whoppers from Burger King. Cheers, brother. Thank you. Thank you, you piece of shit. Thanks. Mm-hmm. 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 Rude. Very rude. Matt P7705 says, not being able to button your pants is not technical difficulties. That wasn't my problem. My pants button just fine. Thank you. Thank you. Nick, did I get hammered? Yes. Yeah, that's right. Skip money in the Rumble chat. Nick couldn't taste fried chicken for months after the COVID. Correct. I could not. And I love fried chicken, as evidenced by my giant fucking gunt. I love fried chicken. I'm also black. Have we established this? What else do I have to, what do I have to do and say? How do I have to prove it? I'm fat. I like fried chicken. I steal things. And I have a bad credit score. Very clearly a black man. Can I even see my own dick? No, but that has nothing to do with my stomach. That has everything to do with my nose. Mandy, everything below my shoulders lives in the shadow of that nose. I can't see anything. I just see, when I look down, all I see is just skin. That's it. Didn't you also drink grape soda before? Yes. Yes, I tried to lose weight, so I stopped drinking soda and started just drinking Crisco. What's a bad credit score? I think that's related to your race, isn't it? For me, a bad credit score is 235. But for a white, a bad credit score is anything under like 620. 650? I don't know. I didn't even know. I've never been above a 300, so. Okay. Okay, here we go. All right. You know what time it is? It is time, I think. I think so. Can we do this? Got to be careful bending over in my chair now. It can never be on camera again.
No shit.
I think it's time.
I'm bread!
Okay, here we go. What do we got? Oh, hey. Let's see. Sorry, I got an email. I gotta get my page selector up. 188. 188. Oh, God. Some of these pages. Just know, when it's going to be juicy. I think this one's going to be juicy. I just got to say it. Target. He is the walking symbol of slavery. He is walking amongst you and singing your ancestors' suffering as a fucking gimmick to make money. And Infiltrator flies around the world making money off your ancestors' suffering. This lesser man is harvesting the souls of your ancestors and eating it and shitting out money. You leave him to steal from your ancestors while your people are getting poisoned. You let him steal from you. You let him steal from your heritage. You wonder why Binger power ain't working? Because you let him tap into it. Remove them. Remove thy enemy, and Binger tribe will awaken. Remove the evil from tapping into your souls, and Binger power shall be free again. Binger's power is drained by the very presence of these lesser men who devour the spirit of our ancestors. The lesser man, Attorney Tom, should be terrified of playing the blues without facing retribution from Binger. The lesser man should be terrified to ever fucking touch anything near the blues without Binger men hunting them down in vengeance for slavery and present evil. The lesser man should sweat his fucking face off before ever stepping near the blues. The lesser man should sweat in reverence and respect for Binger. The lesser man should never be allowed to play the blues. It is not the lesser man should never be so arrogant and comfortable to think he can invite himself into your culture. The lesser man should never be comfortable in your culture or near it. The lesser man should prefer to lose an arm and a leg to stealing Binger culture. The Matt Harris hunts down thieves of his culture, and his soldiers follow. The Matt Harris can achieve more with freshly sacrificed chicken blood than a chemistry or physics book. Popular culture is a pool full of piss. There's almost no water left. They popularize things. Nothing is pushed without an agenda. So if the agenda isn't obvious and open, then you should be concerned that it is so effective that you don't notice it. They push sensitive boys over strong and collected men. Wait, he did it. He did the fucking heel turn. They want you to have bad relationships and failed premarital sex. Oh, shit. Why? As you won't create a tribe that can fuck shit up. There's a reason that a strong family is not what they want. Binger knows that abortion is a means and a tool for Binger genocide. Binger knows that Planned Parenthood is a motherfucking eugenics agency and always has been. Binger knows that by removing that part of Binger population, they can weaken and throw us off our natural rhythm. All Binger lives deserve to be born. If one is conceived by mistake, consider it a miracle. If one is conceived by violence, that miracle counts double. Oh, shit. If one is brought into creation by events unplanned, then that child needs to be born to fix everything. Then the child that comes by unwanted decisions is even more necessary for the tribe's existence. The child that comes without invitation is needed, and that soul is already waiting to give us what we're awaiting. The child never comes without invitation from prior souls. The child that shows up without the parents asking is already invited by others in this world who beg for it. The parents never know the whole cause or the whole story or the whole need for the child's conception. Holy fucking based. The parents are just the doormen, but the whole residence is coordinated. The child that shows up is never an unplanned event. The child that shows up is never an accident. The world will never know how much it loses when a single child is murdered or prevented from birth. The debate about abortion is a distraction. The legal mumbo jumbo is horse shit. There is nothing to discuss with lawyers. The child's soul is more than you have a right to know or understand. The child's soul is more important than anything you can pronounce in an argument. Killing Binger child is unforgivable and beyond discussion between anyone and anyone else. When you kill one of our children, you are against the entire tribe. Binger cannot tolerate abortion. Planned Parenthood was founded by eugenicists and racists. When the Tom pretends abortion is okay to please his lesser masters, he deserves a bullet in his skull. When the Tom pretends abortion is permissible to sell himself to lesser academics and lesser.
I'm bread!
Whoa. Whoa. Damn. I think we may have read that page before, and I don't give a fuck. I would read that page every day. I would read that page every fucking day. Because while Matt Harris has hit on that in reference to the black community, it is fucking true. And it is so unpopular. It is so unpopular because we have been conditioned to accept that an unwanted pregnancy, well, that's acceptable to kill the child then. That's acceptable. That's a hard fucking stance to take. It takes a crazy man, right? Like Matt Harris to make the stance. Say that, you know what, though? That child didn't ask to be conceived in that way. Maybe it's not that child's fault. That's a tough fucking stance, isn't it? Today it is. Didn't used to be, but today it's a really tough stance. What does the circumstance have to do with the validity of the child's right? It's a good question. For me, here's what I hope. I hope at some point we get to the point where we can remove a child from a womb and put it in an artificial womb, incubate the child, and have it grow. We can eliminate these questions. We can eliminate these problems. We can eliminate the difficulty of dealing with a child conceived in rape. Because a child conceived in rape is a really fucking tough question, right? How do you put the mother through the trauma of having to deliver that baby? Now, don't be mistaken. She'll have to look at that baby every day and know that it is a reminder. No. Stop it. Stop that. My personal belief is that the child is a redemptive function. And the mother can accept the redemption. Again, and the healing. Not that she did anything wrong. Don't get me wrong. Don't misquote me on that. But that she can accept the healing or not. Maybe she's not ready for it and someone else can adopt the baby. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, in the legal situation we're in right now, I don't think there's any way where children conceived by sexual assault go to term without an abortion option. I don't think that's going to happen. But I would love to get to a world where it does, where the state says, okay, we'll step in here. We'll intervene. We don't want to subject the mom to unnecessary trauma. What she went through is horrific. But this baby didn't cause it. Some motherfucker caused it. and we'll prosecute the motherfucker who caused it. And someone said, Tigurius says, just execute rapists and the mother can smile. That's a very dangerous. I fucking agree. Remove them with state sanctioned violence after a trial. I fucking agree. Done. Bye, rapist. Why is this a problem? Why is this an issue anymore? Like, why do we struggle with this? What's the problem? Rape? Conceive a baby? Rape in general? I don't need you. I'm not worried about that one myself. Not big on the whole rape thing. Not my style. Now, of course, we have another problem in this country, which puts a minor break on that, which is the fact that we have false rape accusations that are believed over and over and over again. So proper statute of limitations, all of that stuff needs to go in. But if we've got conclusive proof of a rape, done. Get the fuck out. You know how you get conclusive proof of rape? I shouldn't say conclusive. You get close. You get close at least. Those DNA tests. Yeah, it was you. Was you. Come with a conception. But we do need to fix the women lying issue, of course. But when we've got it, when we've nailed it, when you've figured out that this person is actually a rapist, wall, beautiful wall, and this wall specifically for putting rapists against it, putting a gun barrel to their head and pulling the trigger. I've seen a lot of Rorschachs in my day, but none of them as wonderful as the crimson mist on a lovely wall. The crimson mist spraying out on a lovely wall. Not quite symmetrical because they never are. The Rorschachs are a little bit different. That's what we need, right? Rorschachs on the fucking wall for rapists. Pedophiles can go there too. I don't fucking care. I'm tired of it. When we get to conclusive proof by the state, after a trial, all right. Well, there we go. That's our daily unbreaded. Castration, only if it's before the bullet. All right, I'm okay with that too. The more I drink, the more okay I am with cruel and unusual punishment. How does DNA help with false accusations or bullshit like post facto revoked consent? That doesn't, but it helps with the proof that they are the person involved. But again, we have to eliminate the false accusation issue. You have to see, here's how, but let's explore this topic for just a minute. How do we do death penalties now and stop with this fucking, well, the following is, not only do you have to get the proof of the crime, you have to get sufficient proof of the crime for a jury to conclude unanimously that a death penalty is warranted under the circumstances. Death penalty cases right now aren't usually edge cases. They're really not. I'm not a big fan of the death penalty. Really not a big fan of it. But when you look statistically at death penalty cases decided today, we're really, really fucking confident in them. The ones that you see getting overturned, we're talking about severe exonerating evidence. DNA proves that they're not the person who murdered someone because it was someone else. And the trick of getting a death penalty case overturned, because you'll always see a headline when it happens. After 40 years, DNA evidence has surfaced and overturned the conviction of so-and-so, which is a tragedy that it happened. Tragedy, absolute. And you're usually dealing with some sort of false accusation and misidentification by either the person who's making the complaint or by the police or whatever. But these days, when we're getting to death penalty issues, we're talking about an extremely high confidence level. Nick Cruz didn't get the death penalty. There is a place where we get there. I'm still currently generally opposed to the death penalty. But my God, if we can prove it, if we can like really get down to proof, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. All right, we're going to read the rest of the chats. We've got some chats on Odyssey. We've got chats on Locals. We've got chats on Rumble. Every show, by the way, I did a spot for Birch Gold, but every show from now on for the rest of time is brought to you by my Locals community, which is the greatest fucking community on the planet. You go to some other Locals, I'm gonna go to so-and-so's Locals page. You're breaded. You're a breaded piece of shit, and you know it. My Locals community is the best, is the funniest. They meme the hardest. They're the most simultaneously racist and compassionate people on the planet. It doesn't matter. All of the best degeneracy is in my Locals chat. You can't find anyone else. And we have at least one woman who has verified that she is a woman in there. Just at least one. So guys, if you're looking for ladies, there's only one place you can find them. RekietaLaw.locals.com. And the Locals chat makes every stream possible. Every single one. And the amount of memes that just came in made my dick hard, my manhood intact. Take that. Take that. I love those faggots. Mario Carter 13. New mixed drink. You put the Baldo on a boss hog and call it Ralph's Whiskey Dick. Fuck, my boss hog's upstairs. Oh, God, that's a good idea. We can do it with a different whiskey. There we go. It's done. It's done. All right, here we go. Music and Fiction says, "Oi, Porcata, get roasted." I am a fat. I've been determined to fat. Look, I talked a lot of shit earlier, but ultimately, I will forever be a fat. This is what made me so mad today. All day, guys. All day, I'm walking around. I'm like, fucking done. I'm done forever. There's no living it down. Once the locals gets a hold of one picture of you looking fat, you're fat for eternity. You get fatter as the day goes on. Ashley Purdy says, "The fuck is that?" Ashley, join the Locals and you'll learn all about the Baldo. I'm done. Forever. Dead. Forever fat. Permanently obese. That's what made me actually mad about it. Because I knew I could never recover. Fuck. No, now you have to go get skinny and take a new picture. Brofist, it doesn't matter. You can take 1,000 skinny pictures. 1,000 of them. One fat picture and you're fat for life. Look at Fair and Balanced. She's fat forever. There's nothing she could do. Oh, I lost 60 pounds. Lose 100 more. Let's get to Anne Frank levels of thin. It won't matter. Nothing she could do. Look, I can prove it. This is shit I have to deal with. You? Look at this. The guy she told you not to worry about. She has a BMI of gravy. Oh my God. You just roasted her hard enough to render off pounds. Damn. Holy shit. Telling you, it's impossible. It's impossible. I could post pictures of a 6-pack with a 15-inch cock. Won't matter. Fat. Forever. Forever shamed. Forever fat. Dead. Dead. I knew it was over. The moment it happened. Jimmy J009. Tiffany Amber Thiessen for Judge Mommy. That's a good casting decision. Alto Patones. Yeah, how did that Juan become verified proof? I don't know. Oh, Gonzo 1000. Hey, Nikki, have you ever seen Kung Fu Hustle? Yeah, I kind of liked it. I like Shaolin Soccer more, but there's a problem. Do not watch the dubbed version of Shaolin Soccer. You got to watch the one in the original Communist. The original Communist is different. They cut the movie different. There's different scenes in it, and it's better. The original Communist version of Shaolin Soccer is way better than the American dub version. So I gotta point that out. Kung Fu Hustle was okay, though. I liked it. Firefuck says Nick Gunkata. Chanks Atome, ATF disregards Second Amendment. FBI disregards Fourth Amendment. CIA disregards Fifth Amendment. The whole executive branch disregards the 10th Amendment. Now DHS disregards the First Amendment. The Constitution is used toilet paper. Where am I to find faith in this nation when only 5 of 9 Supreme Court justices are the only people even pretending to apply the Constitution? That's a good question, brother. Bailey says 15-inch cock only after you strap it on. No, I'm not. No, I don't. I'm saying it doesn't matter. I was being hyperbolic. I have never would never misrepresent cock size. 15-inch cock would be great until you got an erection and passed out. Actually, I don't think it'd be that great. I think it'd be a little cumbersome. Radicalized Ryan has a Libri coin comment. Emery Kalam says Cinco. Ogonzo 1030 round mags cries in California. Radicalized Ryan has a I've got at least a 2-inch penis, okay? Leave me alone. I'm doing fine. Radicalized Ryan has a Libri coin thing. Jack Crow says, caw, caw, caw. Malik Foxon, I had no trouble voting last weekend, by the way. How did you manage it, Malik? How did you do that? The 2-inch Punisher. It's 2 inches long, but 9 inches around. Johnny Reb 84. Nick, 42 seconds. Got to call it a night. I have to work in the morning. 42 minutes, maybe? But I put your weight loss journey out on Twitter. Fuck you. I hate you. I hate whoever did this. Here we go. Free Rekieta law. Since being banned on Twitter, Nick has let himself go, Elon Musk. Please restore Nick so he can document his weight loss journey. Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture. So this picture and this picture. The same picture. They're the same picture. Thanks. Robo Bob, thank you for the coins, things, whatever. Firefox, Nick out here necking himself left and right, wanting people to pump shit into his ass. Just fucking kill me. Own a wall. Do we get to watch Dr. Pape's hearing tomorrow, or is it federal? Or DePapes? Oh, I have no idea. Charlene 2K in the locals chat says, I just made the most delicious garlic mushroom grilled cheese. Well, Charlene, I would love to eat that, but apparently I'm too fat and can't. I probably will not be streaming during the day tomorrow. I've got a thing. Oh, wait, no. Correction. I will be on the real BBC tomorrow with Nina and Az at noon Central Time. I'll post on locals when I get the link so that you guys can find it. But I'll be on the real BBC tomorrow. So that'll be fun. Maybe I can get the real BBC pumped into my ass. I don't know. And then, of course, I'll be doing my normal stream. Let's see. Here we go. At just sent a coin. Retro Gamer, Nick, it's the plandemic. A pandemic is suggesting it wasn't intentionally planned from the start. Let's not sugarcoat it and call it what it is. Wingnut21, Nick, your nose is so big, it makes you not look so fat. There you go. Perfect. Tila of Grayskull says, oh, but Drunkita is so cute. Hey, thank you. Xenocav says, Nicocado Chunkicado. Slowpoke 159. Please tell Erudite to watch his last few Frost Maiden streams and fix his volumes. Turns himself way up, the music way down, and get all of y'all on the same volume. Else it's too frustrating to watch. I'll tell him that the volume sucks. How's that? Sunderwear says, stand up, turn to the side, and bend over. Already done. Already done. Moforex. Check my locals post, shyster. No. C3 Metal. I know you got a couple dumbbells. Do some shoulder work as you're streaming your fatso. Build them little boy shoulders to hide that gut. No. It's too much work. It's too hard. I don't want to try. E Miller 012. Grift or eat. Nick will take the treat. He never met a scale he couldn't beat. Grasping for air, breaking his chair. He just ripped his underwear. Spatula Guy says he had to use a hammer because Nancy's gavel was in Paul's butt. Gross. Ammo's Currency says, Rekieta Law, don't listen to Fair and Balanced. If you lean into this grift, you'll break it, you fat bastard. Pixlexia. Who would bully you? She says, who would bully you? Seems mean. That being said, what's the update on using your nose to create another Great Lake? Thanks, Pixlexia. You've hurt me. What the fuck? Okay, here we go. Joshima 1 of 3. Rekieta Law. Love you, Nick. You're taking the memes with great humor. I'm not okay. I'm not okay. This may be my last stream. Bad vibes. You are too fat to fly and fry. Thanks. Corny butt knuckles that had to hit that plussy. I shared that picture earlier. Make sure you hit the plus on Rumble, by the way, guys. Really helps. Spat64, enough with the belly. Back to the nose, Cyrano. Gooch, 1701. I'm down 60 pounds with 85 pounds to go. Would appreciate a simultaneous toast and fat shame. Okay, Gooch. Oh, here's what I'm gonna whiskey shame myself. The worst whiskey I have by far right here. Single grain whiskey, bourbon cask, but this is rice whiskey, Shibu. Premium indica long grain rice. This is so disgusting. But I got to slowly get through it. Why would I want to? I don't want to, but what am I going to do? Pour it out? To Gooch. 60 pounds down, 85 to go. That's fine. It's just a cheerleader left to get rid of. Just a person. Probably just shave that off. Just work it off in a weekend or whatever. A toast to you, good sir, on your journey to remove a person from you. It's like the Siamese twin that you don't like, but you just can't get rid of. The funny part is with them, you can just cut off the useless twin and they die. For you, they'll live on. That fat is going to live in your mind for the rest of your life. And probably in your arteries, because you're already so cholesterol riddled that you'll barely make it another 3 years. But try to make them skinny at least. That'll be great. Cheers. Oh. 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 This is the worst whiskey. And I paid like $180 for it. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, it's Japanese. It's very exotic. Ugh. Crusader Saracen, Nick doesn't want to stand up. Oh, there's a shocker. I do stand-up live streams all the time now. And everybody hates them. Bad vibes. Your ego is big, but your nose is bigger, and your waistline is bigger than both. My ego just got a little bit smaller. Ben SC, at Fair and Balanced, I bet with the size of his nose, he can snort 2 sticks of butter at once. What my nose can do by natural talent, Fair and Balanced beats me with practice. Bad Dragon, I just had a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. Bet you wish you could have some. It was perfectly flaky the way that only Southern homemade biscuits can be. Bailey, 15-inch cock, only after you strap it on. Yeah. People don't understand parody or hyperbole. My God. Ammo's currency. Rekieta Law, X threatened to file a false rape claim because I was upset with cheating and wanted her to move out. The next day, she told people I had raped her that night. I don't know if we could prove rape even with DNA at 99%. You cannot, no, don't mistake me. You cannot prove rape with DNA. But there are circumstances where you can prove rape beyond a reasonable doubt. You can actually, there are circumstances where you can prove rape beyond any doubt. They're not the common ones, but when we have them, done. EMAG, Uncivil Law, was talking about publishing the satire amicus brief, but he said he would need to crowdsource about 10K. I'm not sure why that would be a 10K brief, but okay. Bad Dragonite, Drunkita out here protecting his kids from the diabetes by snorting up all their Halloween candy, apparently. I had 2 pieces of candy today, that's all. I've had 2 pieces of candy in the last fucking month. Postal Pupper, listen to it on Uncivil Law Sunday. Today I'm hearing it while drinking, so it's even funnier now. Jimmy009, keep up the good work. Thank you. Fire PA reminder, Fair and Balanced is the newest protagonist in Disney's Pixar's latest film. Congrats, Farron. We are so proud of you. It's a fat joke. Emiller012, we wanted to get 5,000 subscribers, not 5,000 BMI. Gooch, roast SCOTUS on AA cases, Nick. Give SS and KJ your hot, spicy take. Who the fuck is SS and KJ? I don't know what that means. Jensen Zeiger, manufacturer's error. Sure, that's why your super expensive chair broke, not the 3 dozen packs of Pop-Tarts you eat every day. Guys, I love Pop-Tarts. I've had one package of Pop-Tarts in the past month. Just one. And I had it on stream. Hyper shout out for the record. I've been telling you not to eat after you finish streaming. I usually don't, but I only sometimes do. Legardicus shared this. I guess I have to. I guess I have to share this. I don't know. This isn't a very good grift for $1. Oh my God. Did I get face apped onto Weird Al? Or are you just calling me fat? I can't even tell anymore. Hyper shout out, hashtag start the bullying 2022. That's not me, Legardicus. I'm not sharing that one. From here on says, here's a tip. Eat a goddamn carrot. But they're gross. They're gross. Chanks at home, they want you to forgive and forget because that is according to your morals. Never, never. These are demons, not people. Here we go. Yeah, so this is what column mocking anti-vaxxers COVID deaths is ghoulish. Yes, but it may be necessary. Right, but now they want amnesty for the COVID stuff. Of course. All right. Chat's on Rumble now, and then we're almost done. Almost done. Mario Carter 13, 6 feet, 6 figures, 6 inches, and now Nick's pregnant with that 6th baby. Congrats. SC Medic 71, I heard Farron lost about 60 pounds. Guess you found them. Stardust Crusader, hey Nick, can you fat shame yourself? No. Nope. I can only exist to suffer. Hold on. Just a second. There we go. Where were we? Crusader says the only amnesty the Atlantic deserves is a blunt sword on the back of their neck so that they stand before Allah for his divine judgment. Samuel the Infamous one says happy Halloween to you and your family, Nick. Hey, thank you. We had a pretty good one this year. Mario Kart 13, Nick's making a list, checking it twice, stealing all the cookies in the neighborhood isn't very nice. KX2, in 1980, our HOA took us to court in Playa del Rey, California, to force us out of our condo because we had a baby and it was adults only. We won the lawsuit. We stayed till baby number 2 when we could afford to move. Nice. Very cool. Bad Vibe says, do one sit-up. Bet you can't. Probably do the truffle shuffle. I can definitely do one sit-up. You fucker. You fucking fucker. My lifestyle says fact. Cledge Fenrir, does Drex get soft eyes looking at your soft gut? Yes. He just wants it rubbed. Rubbed on his ears and mouth. Fair and balanced. If there's one thing you taught me. Wait, I read that one. I see Medic. Congrats on number 6. Nice of you to carry this one and give Lady R a break. Look, I'm a gentle and giving lover. I have to be, because if I don't, I'll crush people to death under my massive girth of my stomach. Vladimir Comey, hey Nick, love your channel. I found $5 on the ground today. You can have it. Please tell Dina that she's beautiful and I love and miss her. Do you mean Nina? Who the fuck's Dina? Blue-eyed Roof Korean. We here at Roof Koreans, Guillotines, and Gallows would love to work out a deal with our sister company, Pinochet's Helicopter Tours. Rekieta Cartography would be a great partner. Hit me up. Feds fly free. Idle Paul Gunt Kata weighs so much he can't stand up because he'll break the foundation of his house if he tries. EGA Vin, 99. We have made things trend before. Nick write / tweet something pithy. RE freeing Viva. Add Alex Jones in for kicks, and then let's get it done. Viva got his account back on Twitter already. Wait a minute. What's going on in the chat here? Oh, there we go. Never mind. Okay. Yeah, Viva got his account back already. Viva's a supreme bro. I like him quite a bit. And what happened to him was stupid, obviously. But I can't tweet anything. CL Hunter says you already fat shamed yourself. Lol. Oh, wait, is there a video of me fat shaming myself? Or is this? What's this? I don't remember this. Story of my life. Let's see. Here we go. Turn this on, add this. We got CL Hunter, I'm mad, Nick, is my $4.99 super chat isn't good enough for you. Here's $20, you grifter. Now go fat shame yourself and make it the best fat shame speech, you disloyal Shaster lawyer. Yeah, I can fat shame me. Me. Look. I saw me today. I saw you there. I looked down. I saw that fupa you got. There it is. Fat upper penis area that you have. You disgusting slob sitting there slovenly drinking all these alcoholic beverages, stuffing your face full of bread. You know bread makes you fat, you piece of shit. Look, I know. No, you shut your fucking mouth, whore, and listen to me. You shut up. You are fat and disgusting. Your belly sags like you're wearing a fucking colostomy bag full of all the shit you put into your body right in front of you. What is that? Is that some sort of curtain? I bet you can pull that. I bet you can pull that stomach skin up and cover your own face. Cover your own face to hide yourself in shame. But the best part is you'll be smelling that disgusting belly button lint for the rest of your life. Ew. Which should be short, you fat piece of shit. Get in the ground. There you go. Damn. Okay. Well, okay. I feel worse about myself. How does younger Nick look even fatter? Because I was fucking 15 pounds heavier back then. Night of Hope. Google's severe level of state subsidies and their military contracts should make them a de facto quasi-government organization. Potentially criminal. This DHS nonsense makes a man want to rent a fleet of rider trucks. Mario Carter, I believe the proper term for drone striking a religious leader is a clerical error. CL Hunter, I made a parody account of you on Twitter called Gun K to Law. Thanks. Bailey 7, I have to agree with Uncivil. The B filed the wrong brief. Bad Vibes sent $1 for treadmill to lose weight or for Blue Bunny ice cream to cry into. I'm lactose intolerant. I can't even eat it anymore. Tony Ravioli 69. One day, if you ever come down to Delaware, I'd love to meet you and show you my knife collection. That sounds like a threat. Even though you called it weird to have one, I forgive you. I only called it weird because I don't. Minor Zircon. Damn, Babylon B is fire. Keep up the fight, rackets. Also, Montegraph is gay and breaded. Mario Carter 13. Nancy got hammered. Paul wanted to get pounded. There was a miscommunication somewhere along the way. Freddie Gherkin. I'm not Monty. I have relationships with women and sex with melons. I got news for you. It means you're gay. Bad Dragonite. Challenge for Nick. Do keto till Thanksgiving. 0 bread, 0 carbs, only high-fat foods like bacon and butter, fried eggs, etc. Lost 70 pounds on it before. Doing it for around 7 months. The stuffing will taste leagues better. First of all, I don't like stuffing. Second of all, I don't need to lose weight. I need to reallocate weight. Mario Kart 13, Matthew Harris, Chris Chan is an honorary binger. That's right. Guys, I'm 6'2", and I'm at 185 pounds. I don't need to lose the weight. I need to move the weight from my fucking tummy up to my shoulders and become a man. That's what I need to do. Bailey 7. One of my boyfriend's sisters was raped. She was my age. She had the baby, called it a blessing, and gave it up for adoption. This was when we were 7th or 8th grade. Community supported her. Mandy says, Nick banned himself from his own hot tub. I can't wait till see Goody see this. Mandy, have you seen me in my hot tub recently? Why not? Oh, I need a new water softener. Or maybe it's because I'm fucking fat.
Hey, Rekieta.
Whatever. Let's see. Chuck Ross, damn, Nick, you're shaped like a bowling pin. Rude. EGA Vin 99. Thanks, Nick. Sorry for that very breaded $1 rumble. Congratulations. You are officially my very first super chat, and it's sent right before I could adjust the amount. Woohoo! For Viva and freedom. You're welcome. Thank you. Bad Dragon Knight says, allocate weight. Do we need to replay that self-fat shaming clip? Bad vibes. Monty gets cucked by his right hand nightly. Damn. We've got Gooch says SS equals Sonia Sotomayor and KG equals Ketanji Jackson, my dude. Oh, okay. Yeah. I wasn't thinking about them. And then Hyper Shouta, hashtag start the bullying 2022. That's the end. Oh, wait, no, Nimitz 42. Nick, you're wrong on the Alwaki strike. That was a 16-year-old kid that they hellfired, killed everyone in the cafe to boot. They also killed him. Okay. There we go, guys. Show's over. I think 2:40. I think we got one more horror movie in us maybe tonight. I don't know. So check me out on twitch.tv/Rekieta Law. Go to locals, rekietalaw.locals.com for the post and the live chat. And I think we're going to do one more horror movie tonight. And then we'll see what happens next. For now, I got to go to the bathroom. I'll catch you guys in a minute. Thanks for hanging out with me. Peace. Peace.
Oh, he drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along. With his glass by his side, if his kid's asleep tight, we'll hear some lost-plaining tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes meta, raging at idiots from Twitter and Erlang. From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an Ardbeg, a Balmore, a Lafroig. The spirits blow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear lost blaming tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, the guests are all plentiful, from Doug T to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet. There's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have